Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love this.
My name's Jay Milne. Hashtag Glue Crew.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might have something.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Show.
My name's Jay.
Well, if you're able to see us on YouTube today, you just witnessed some very menacing rock and roll look by Jason Milne, followed by some leaning back in his chair air guitar. Why wouldn't he and you be excited today? We have an epic show coming up over the next 3 hours, leading into perhaps an epic hockey game tonight. In about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little less, we're going to be joined by one of the newest Edmonton Elks. I would think one of the premier free agent signings in the league. Defensive back Tyrell Ford will check in. It is Trey's twin brother. I saw them standing side by side today at the news conference at Commonwealth Stadium. I wasn't sure who was who, but they're both very good. But I really liked that moment, by the way, when somebody said to Tyrell Ford, "Who's faster, you or Trey?" And he said, "I am. Next question." I enjoyed the sibling rivalry and the brotherly love that he showed with that comment. So he's going to join us. We will continue our NHL jersey rankings. We're into the top 16 today. We have 16 through 9. We have a story that, now this is not going to be a positive story per se, but I think it's an important story to tell. We got a story of a youth soccer team that got scammed out of a lot of money. And we got a parent from that team who's going to check in a little bit later on to tell us what's going on. We will dive into some Oilers trade discussion. If you've listened to me in the past, if you heard me on Inside Sports for 11 years, you'll know how I feel about fan trade proposals. So we'll get into that for the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. And my goodness, yes, it is finally the start of the Four Nations Faceoff.
Let's go, girls.
The excitement bubbling in the air. The city, a cauldron of tension and nerves. Let's go. The tournament finally starts. How are you feeling about it?
I'm so excited, Reid.
And you just can't hide it. You're about to lose control, and you think you like it.
You're darn right.
Whoa! Whoa!
Now, as a bonus, total side note today, there is no prize. There's no gift card.
What?
There's no money. There's just adulation. You just get our admiration. You get our love. And you're remembered as an epic nasty and an epic listener to the show. First person to post in the nasty chat on YouTube. And if you're taking in the show on YouTube, we thank you. Remember to click the thumbs up button. We want to climb as high as possible every day. And then if you want to reach out, you can also email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Text the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. But put this in the nasty chat. I want to see the guesses that come in and how long it takes somebody to get it. Please identify the vocalist and the song that this is from.
Whoa! Whoa!
I say somebody gets it within a minute.
Oh, for sure.
What is the vocalist and the song?
Whoa! Whoa!
Now, that's also how Jay Milne entered the office this morning, knowing that it was the start of the Four Nations Faceoff.
You know
But
it.
that's also from a song. So we want to know the artist and the song. It is not Little Richard. That's a good guess.
Very good guess.
That's a very good guess from Rob from the Grove. It is not Jay Milne, as Grant has just guessed. Though you are a vocalist. Did you ever wail like that on a North Shore or a Brody track?
No. That's,
You're not a whaler.
You got to have something. You got to be built different to be able to do that night overnight.
You got to be. You got to be a special type of vocalist, as this person was. It is not Steven Tyler. It is not Eddie Van Halen, who's a guitar player. Was a guitar player, the late, great Eddie Van Halen. Maybe he thought this was Eddie on the guitar, making these noises with the guitar. Oh, it's not Jack Black. Drew Doughty in the nasty chat, getting ready for the game. And who's he paired with tonight? He's with Shea Theodore. So Drew unwinding for the game by listening to the Reid Wilkins show. He says, that's what Kachuk sounds like in the corners. It is not Jack Black. It is not Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. Oh, we got it. You got to say the song, too. Pauly Deuce has the singer. David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
This is David Lee Roth. What song is it?
Whoa! Whoa!
Now, there's so much stuff on the internet, and there are a lot of songs that you can put in. Like, I've listened to Leopard songs, isolated vocals, isolated guitars. So somebody gets a mix and is able to bring everything else down. So this was the isolated vocals for a David Lee Roth.
You got it.
Pauly,
Yeah.
Pauly, that's really, really good. That is David Lee Roth isolated. A portion of running with the devil. Jay and I listened to the whole song, and we're not sure how David Lee Roth could still talk after recording that song, let alone have a long vote. Because is running with the devil not off the first Van Halen? I think it's off the very first Van Halen album, the self-titled Van Halen. I guess in hindsight you'd call it Van Halen 1, but it would just be Van Halen, Van Halen.
I'm trying to find which album
I think
that was
it's off Van Halen. See, I don't know the pre 1984 catalog as well, but anyway. So we're David Lee Roth is excited. Jay is excited, and yeah, it's the Four Nations Faceoff.
Do we want to get rocked?
We are going to get rocked over the next 8 days. Canada and Sweden tonight. Here's how they're going to line up, everybody. McDavid between Sam Reinhart and Mitch Marner. Do you want to rate each line out of 10?
Yeah.
Based on how effective you think they're going to be in the tournament. 10 being they will be maybe the best line in the tournament, down to 1 that they're not only going to have no impact on the tournament, they'll probably be a drag on their team. So not how good they'd be in the NHL, how good they'll be in this tournament. So Jay and I did not discuss this.
We did not.
McDavid between Reinhart and Mitch Marner.
8.
Nathan McKinnon between Sidney Crosby and Mark Stone.
10.
Ooh, best line in the tournament. Stone being the X factor? He could be. Because he's so greasy. Like, he'll do anything to win.
I like the grit on that
Yeah.
line. I like the grit.
Braden Point with Brad Marchand and Seth Jarvis.
2.
What if Marchand wasn't on that line?
4.5.
Higher. Okay. Anthony Cirelli between Brandon Hagel and Travis Konechny.
6.
Okay. I think that could be a decent line. I think, okay, here's one of my crazy predictions. I think Travis Konechny is an X factor in this tournament.
Could very well be.
All right. The D pairings, Devin Taves with Cale Makar, Shea Theodore with Drew Doughty, Josh Morrissey with Colton Parayko. Jordan Binnington will start net. Aiden Hill will back him up. The scratched Canadians are Sam Bennett, Travis Sanheim, and third goaltender, Sam Montembeault. We're going to have a great discussion about Stu Skinner and goaltending later on in the show. Sweden, do you want to do their lines as well?
Sure.
So you think McKinnon, Crosby, and Stone will be the best line in the tournament?
Yes.
We're one of the top 2.
Yes.
Okay.
5-on-5. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Zibanejad, William Nylander, Ricard Raquel.
9.
Oh, wow. Elias Pettersson, Philip Forsberg, Adrian Kempe.
8.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Joel Eriksson-Ek, Jesper Bratt, Lucas Raymond.
6.
Elias Lindholm, Gustav Nyquist, Victor Arvidsson.
6.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got them deeper than Canada because you have that Marchand line killing Team Canada's forecheck.
Essentially.
So you don't think there's a Sweden line that's going to be negative?
Well, in all honesty and fairness, there's no negative. There's no bad lines.
Yeah,
I would say
somebody's
here,
going to lose the tournament.
but somebody's going to be the
finish last.
scapegoat. Yeah. and that would be the third line of Team Canada.
All right. Victor Hedman with Jonas Brodin, Matthias Ekholm with Erik Karlsson, Rasmus Dahlin with Gustav Forsling, Philip Gustafsson in net. Allmark will back him up. The scratches for Sweden are Leo Carlsson, Rasmus Andersson, and the third goalie, Samuel Ersson. So Gustav Forsling, who I always thought was a decent defenseman, and then I saw him throughout the playoffs and in the Stanley Cup final. This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He's an awesome defensive defenseman. And it's not as if he's incompetent with the puck. That he is on Sweden's third pairing.
That's depth.
These now that the tournament is here, it's going to be fun to watch. I still don't put a lot of stock in it in terms of like the winning team. I don't think is the Grand Poobahs, the emperors of all hockey on the planet. But now that it's here and we see some of the pairings and the matchups, I'm a little more interested than I was during the NHL regular season. I saw somebody put in the nasty chat, I can't remember if it was during the Oil Stream or during Hernan's show, because there's been a lot of discussion about, how into this tournament are you? How exciting is it going to be? How much are the players going to care? How much of the fans are going to care? Somebody put in, so you'd sooner watch regular season games 55-62 instead of this tournament. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. I would. I would sooner have the NHL regular season continue. Like if it was up to me, and after the Oilers game on Friday night, you said, okay, Reid, we can break for the Four Nations face-off, or we have an alternate schedule where the NHL keeps going on Monday. What would you sooner do? I would have said, let's keep going with the NHL. I really would have. Even though this is fun, there's, the national pride and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm a weirdo. Maybe I should be more excited for international hockey, but that's still kind of how I view this tournament. I'd sooner the NHL regular season just continued. Am I a poo-poo bear?
Slightly, but that's okay. It is what it is. You cannot hide your true feelings. I'm interested to see the tempo and how things shake out tonight. Game one, opening game. I think the levels and adrenaline will be quite high. What kind of game are you expecting? I mean, with this much offensive prowess, are you expecting this to be a high-scoring affair, or do you think that due to the relatively new line pairings, relationships, players that have not played with each other?
Yeah, I think generally goals will be at a premium in this tournament, again, because the defenders are also so good. It's like, oh, wow, McDavid, Reinhart, and Marner. That's a super pairing. Well, Rasmus Dahlin and or a super line. Rasmus Dahlin and Gustav Forsling is a super D pairing. And they're listed as Sweden's third pairing. So I think this is good. I think these will still be 3-2 games. I don't think there's going to be an 8-6 or an 8-4. I mean, there might be a lopsided game, but I still think that'll be 4 or 5-1, not 9-3. I think this game will probably be a bit underwhelming because it's the first game of the tournament, and then probably tomorrow's game as well, and then it maybe builds as it goes along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chief Andy, it's not the best of the best. Marchand, Crosby, and Doughty. I love how he spells Doughty, I doubt him. Doughty, like I doubt him. Would not be all-stars, no Draisaitl and Kucherov, etc. Yeah, I of course, and we've talked about that. It's best on best, except for Leon Draisaitl, who might win the Hart Trophy. I get that, but it's still teams of stars representing the four best hockey countries on the planet. I know, except Russia, I guess, if you were to have a top five. All right, so 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. To text, email, read at edmontonsportstalk.com. My goodness, I already have a couple of limericks. I'll have to get to those a little bit later on. And it's not even a big uke limerick. Limerick's coming in from other people, so I'm really excited about that.
Whoa! Whoa!
And keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube and talk with us and with each other in the nasty chat, the good old diabolical dialogue. Our off-topic topic for William Huff has an international theme. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 45-36. It's an off-topic topic. What nation produces the best cuisine? Or you can give us a Final Four and give us your own fictional tournament. However you want to do it.
Your own Four Nations
Your own
face-off.
Four Nations face-off, and
Food
then
off.
say, who would beat who in the semis and who would win in the final. I know this tournament doesn't have semis.
Which nation produces the best cuisine?
Which
Wow.
nation? Which country has the best food?
Well, you're going to be
Or whatever,
hard-pressed
however you're gonna
to, although I've not been there, I've heard good things. And I mean, Italy. I mean, you've got the cheeses, the pastas, the pizzas. I don't know.
But is that a variety?
That's my kind of variety.
This will be a fun one.
Yeah, I think it will be.
What nation produces the best cuisine? That's our off-topic topic. And give us a why or what foods or meals put it over the top. Or you can give us a Four Nations face-off of food and tell us who the winner would be.
Well, we got Brendan here. Brendan's sitting in today. Brendan, what say you about this nations and food? Which nation has the best cuisine? Welcome, Brendan, by the way.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, Jesus. Sorry, my bad. Some stuff's happening. Sorry. It was a clap.
Makes for bad radio, but I gotta agree. Italy would take the cake from me.
Okay, Reid?
The TBD, bruh.
TBD, bruh.
I'm not announcing it this early in the show.
Fine.
Yeah.
Be that way.
Yeah, I'm going to be that way. I'm going to be that way right until 6 o'clock or 5:55, as we found out yesterday.
Pleasure
from
delayer.
Matthew. Yeah. Don't delay giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's climb. We want to get to 130 as quickly as possible so we know there will be at least one word of the day before we sign off. Very special guest coming up from your Edmonton Elks. Just signed a 2-year deal, defensive back Tyrell Ford. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All 3 D linemen came over from Toronto. Ford comes in from Winnipeg. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, and the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams are in action on the hard court tonight, including the Raps welcoming the Cavs, the Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out, quote, long term. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for over the last 30 years, their showroom offers all the best and latest in flooring, tiles, and area rugs. Tell them EST sent you for 10% off your next purchase, in-store or online at ParamountFlooring.ca. Tyrell Ford will join the boys on the other side of the break. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Zola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse with epic food, killer drinks, and an unbeatable vibe. Plus, download the Canadian Brewhouse app and score free nachos on your big day. Book your party now to celebrate like a pro. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Love is in the air.
I love you.
And you? And you? And you. Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Cool, relaxing sleep mix, bringing you back from commercial here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. The off-topic topic for William Huff: what country, what nation produces the best cuisine? Quickly in the nasty chat here, Big Uke: Ukrainian food is unmatched, but I'm biased, he says. Charlie Dufault says Greeks make the best food variety. And Bronco Nick, who we met a few days ago, says you guys have no idea how good the food is in Italy. They have stringent laws on food, and basic things like milk and bread taste 100% better. So a good start there. Which food has the best cuisine? Which food has the best cuisine? It's like saying which paper has the best pages. Which nation, which country has the best food and why? Or have your own little Four Nations face-off of food. One of our many topics this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Very special guest joining us here as we talk Edmonton Elks and free agency, and Tyrell Ford officially announced as a member of the Green and Gold this morning at Commonwealth Stadium. He checks in now. Tyrell, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing? Not sure we have him right now. Okay, we'll give him maybe he might have gone to intercept a pass.
Oh, nice.
He might have heard all that food. He might have heard all that food talk, and he went and needed a snack. You got some clips from Ed Hervey. Okay, I think he's back. Tyrell, can you hear us? Okay. Tyrell, can you hear us? Okay. He can't hear us. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to figure that out. Sometimes things get a little funky along the way.
Alicia Hemming in the EST, the River Cree inbox, Japan for me. Sushi, ramen, and tempura are the best. Italy and Mexico are close behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of good food out there.
A lot of Italian.
A lot of good food. And to be fair, I have not been to these countries. So I'm glad somebody who was it that chimed in and said, Bronco Nick said, hey, I've been to Italy. Like, it's one thing to get whatever in Canada at an Italian restaurant. It's another thing to be in those nations eating the food there. So we're going to get some good feedback on that. We did have, Jay had a chat with Ed Hervey earlier today. Oh, I think we got Tyrell, though. Wait a minute. No, not quite yet. Here's what the GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey, had to say about the Tyrell Ford signing and the impact of maybe Trey in the negotiations and all that kind of stuff.
We took that into consideration, but not in a point where we were taking advantage of it. Right? We did not go into it thinking, we got us a deal or a bargain. We went into it saying, this is a skilled player. We would go after him regardless if Trey was here or not. And we approach those negotiations and those conversations the same way, right? Is that this is what we have here in Edmonton. This is what we're about. This is the direction that we're going. Yeah, it goes without saying, just like the compensation. Yeah, your brother's here. But that, again, those are things that are tabled on the side because we already, we know. Mm-hmm. But it's really like, where are you willing to, lay your head at night and wake up during the season? And the things that are going to surround you and the opportunities that you have to impact an organization that is looking to turn the corner.
And the head coach of the team, Mark Killam, with this to say on Tyrell Ford.
I think you got a couple picks against us last year. I mean, the guy took it away 7 times. The guy's a playmaker. With the teeth that we have up front on our defense now, it makes DB's jobs easier. And that guy his skill set fits perfectly into what JC's doing on defense. I can't wait for Grimes to get his hands on him. I can't wait for Tyrell to be able to showcase his dynamic playmaking ability. The guy can he can read routes, he can jump routes. He puts himself in front of receivers when the ball's in the air. And with the teeth up front, that's going to be happening a lot.
All right, Tyrell Ford connecting with us now. I think we're just going to have audio only, so if you're on YouTube, we'll have his audio coming through. Tyrell, you're on with Reid Wilkins and Jason Milne. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You guys can hear me okay?
Yes, thanks for bearing through the technical stuff there, but we're really pleased to have you on the show. Look, first of all, let everybody know, a lot of fans are listening to this. How did it feel this morning?
Again, I always tell people, they're like, oh, it must feel so special. It must feel like this, feel like that, because not a lot of people have a twin. But it feels normal. It feels comfortable to finally be back to playing football with my brother. And so I'm excited, and especially with, all the coaching changes and the players we're bringing in. I think we have a really good chance to be super successful this year, and I'm just excited to get to work.
All right. Well, you look a lot like Trey, and you sound a lot like him too. I saw you guys standing next to each other, and I wasn't sure who was who. But I'm sure you guys are used to dealing with all the twin comments. But what factor, if any, did Trey play in you deciding to become an Elk?
Obviously, yeah, I want to play with my twin brother. But at the end of the day, the Elks, they definitely really wanted me. So they gave me a pretty good deal. So I like that. And I don't know. I think the coaches believe in me. I talked to JC a little bit too. And so I don't know. I think it's just a good spot for me. And I think it's just the next step in my career. So I think it's a good place.
Look, you know what this franchise has gone through. 4 straight years out of the playoffs. There was a brutal home losing streak in that. A lot of June, Julys, and sometimes even Augusts without a win. And when Ed Hervey became the GM, he kind of said that the team's kind of perceived as a laughingstock around the league, and when we got to build up with that. So, you're one of the guys who's going to be entrusted with that, and quite frankly, your brother too, because he plays a very important position on the other side of the ball. Do you think about that responsibility? Do you think about trying to restore the Double E to the consistent success that they often have had?
Again, I'm not really going to dwell too much on the past, so their previous years don't really have, a big influence on me. I'm just going to go in there and with the guys that we have, and we're going to be successful. We're going to win games, and that's all I'm focused on.
Tyrell Ford joining us here, newly acquired Elks defensive back. What did you see from the team that enticed you to make the change? I mean, brother aside, you're a competitor. You want to go to a place that's going to have an opportunity to win. What gave you that sense that Edmonton and the organization has in fact turned the corner, is heading in the right direction?
Well, I just look at some of their games, and they're losing by a little bit here and there. But I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me is I was always a big believer in, if you can run the ball when it gets later in the season and it's cold and you're a team that can run the ball well, those are teams that usually have a lot of success. And obviously I can come in and have a big impact on defense. So I'm never worried about the defense, especially the defense that I'm on. And so I think if we can get into those late games, get into the playoffs in those late games where it's cold and run the ball effectively, I think we'll be fine.
All right. Tyrell, I love getting to know athletes a little bit, and fans love the story. And we know part of your story because of Trey. But can you take me back who got you guys into football? Was it a parent or somebody else? And was it the parent that put you into it, or did you guys say like, "Hey, we want to play"? Tell me about you and Trey becoming football players at the very start.
Yeah, so I started at a pretty young age. I can't give you an exact age, but my dad it was kind of football or nothing, and so it was definitely going to be football. And so he kind of pushed it on us early, and we weren't very good to start, but obviously, you put time in, you put work in, you get better, and just over the years it paid off, and it ended up working out, and now we're both playing professional football.
So how did one of you wind up on the offensive side of the ball and the other one wound up on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, so when it first started, I was a running back, and Trey's always been quarterback, but when we were younger, I was way better than him. So all he did is he would pitch me the ball, and then I would just run around and do whatever. And then I'd say about high school, the start of high school, we kind of went in, and I was receiver and I was also DB, and then we go to practice, and there wasn't like a ton to compete at practice because you'd have the best two guys on offense. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just play defense so we can compete against each other every day, to push us to get better competition. And so kind of did that, and then kind of just went with it.
All right, so you just said you were better than Trey and got the ball from him, and you were asked at the news conference today who's faster, and you said I am. Next question: is there a loving rivalry and a lot of loving trash talk between you and Trey?
Yeah, I mean, it'll go back and forth. He always say he's faster. I'll say I'm faster. But it always comes down to he is fast on the track. I never beat him in track and field. But every time we race on turf or we run 40s on turf, I always win. And plus now he's got an extra like 10, 15 pounds on me because he's bulking to play quarterback. There's no reason he should be faster than me.
Okay. Well, thanks for telling that story and just your career as well. I mean, you did get a look in the National Football League with the Green Bay Packers. Can you compare and contrast being a DB in the CFL to maybe what they wanted or were expecting when you got a look in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, it's just football. The game's definitely a little bit different with the smaller field and the one less guy. But I think it's way harder to play corner over here because down there you can really like hold people and it just doesn't get called. So a lot more like just I don't know slips through the cracks. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get down there and I couldn't like hold a receiver. I couldn't cheat like that. It's just I've worked so hard to not do any of that it's hard to just kind of just go down there and start doing it. So I think that's one of the things that I guess I could have did better. I guess I could have cheated better or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's definitely harder to play DB over here. But I like where I'm at.
All right. You were with the Winnipeg franchise that, let's face it, over the last 5 or 6 years has been the premier franchise in the Canadian Football League. What was it like playing there and just, that stadium was packed. They would have the beer snake going with all the cups. I don't know if you would notice that as a player, but take me through your couple seasons with the Blue Bombers.
Yeah, I never noticed any of that. But yeah, I got my first year a little bit late because I had a couple NFL workouts, and then like they kind of had their guys already, so I felt like I never really got that chance to really go out there and start my first year. It was kind of just like, you're a Canadian rookie, you're kind of just going to play special teams and play your part. And so I did that until like the end of the season, and we had an injury, and then I went in and I played against the BC Lions, and I played really well. I had like 3 PBUs and everything, put up some good tape. And then later that off season, I went to Green Bay. I had a bunch of workouts, like 6 or 7, went to Green Bay. And then, I was down there till the end of training camp and then came back to Winnipeg. And I was kind of like, I didn't know if I should go back to Winnipeg right away, if I should ask for a trade, because I honestly just didn't know how they felt about me. And so I was kind of just like, I talked to Jordan Younger and a couple of guys there, and they're like, we're going to give you like a real chance to start. And so I went down there, and from day one, I probably had the best camp at anybody on the team, actually. So it was a pretty good camp. I made a lot of plays. Obviously earned my spot, and it kind of just carried over through the whole season. Played pretty decent the whole season. Got a couple exceptions, and now I'm in Edmonton.
Tyrell, we've gotten to know your brother. He's been on this station before, and I believe last time he mentioned that he does like doing his own renovations, handyman stuff. He seems like he's pretty good at that. Is that part of the living arrangement? Because I believe he said he was going to be buying a house and renovating it. And you alluded to cheaper rent today at the press conference. Is that part of the arrangement? Is that you are somewhat of a journeyman helper for him in this renovation process?
Yeah, I help him all the time. Sometimes we do some renovations down in Niagara. He has a house down there, so we do some of that. Even a couple days ago here, we put up some drywall and stuff, and it's some stuff that he's got some knowledge on, actually. So it's nice to pick his brain a little bit and learn about that, because in the future I probably want to do my own renovations on my own house. So that's it's a pretty good idea.
All right, a couple, 2 or 3, maybe 4 quick hitters, like 1 word or 1 sentence answers before we let you go. A little bit on the lighter side here. Is it true twins can read each other's minds?
No.
But do you ever feel like I know what Trey was thinking before he was going to do it?
Yeah. Very similar, so we have similar ideas and stuff, but definitely can't read his mind.
Definitely can't read his mind. Okay, and what's the one thing you're most curious about becoming an Edmontonian?
I wouldn't say anything I guess I'm curious about, but I want to go to a hockey game. I've never been, so even when I was in Winnipeg, I didn't go, so I kind of want to go to a hockey game and see how that is.
Wait a minute. You've never been to an NHL game?
No. I've never watched a hockey game.
Well, you must have watched a hockey game on TV.
No, I don't watch hockey.
Oh, wow.
This is incredible.
Well, we have a couple really good players in Edmonton.
Yeah, so I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Perhaps we can get OEG to help you and Trey get to a game. Like that'd be okay. Hey, Tyrell, I know you're busy today. I know there's a lot going on with media. And do you have a fan mixer tonight? Is something going on there?
Yeah, some type of thing between 5 and 8, I think. Not exactly sure what it is. I just know I'm showing up.
Okay. Well, we got some Winnipeg people in our chat, and they already miss you and are wishing you the best here in green and gold. Thanks a lot for doing this. Look forward to getting to know you more, and look forward to seeing you on the field. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Tyrell Ford, new defensive back for your Edmonton Elks. Good interview. Yes, he sounds like Trey. A few people put that in the chat as well. They are definitely identical. I guess he said Trey's a little bulkier now with the weight for being a quarterback. Yeah, that's exciting. I think Serezna was pretty big. We're going to have a couple clips from him as we go along. But I think Ford is pretty big because of the passport, a Canadian cornerback.
100%. Yeah, you just cannot put enough value on having a top tier cornerback bust that ratio by being Canadian. And so think of this. You have 2 of the hardest positions on your team to fill with Canadians, and you've done it successfully. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest. Trey's got to do some things and get the opportunity to finally do those things, okay? Tyrell's proven he can, and they're twin brothers at that.
Same family. Yeah, didn't have to go out of a family to find some key positions. Yeah, that's exciting. And Killam mentioned the 7 interceptions and the pass knockdowns, and also, and one of Ed Hervey's mandates here has been control the line of scrimmage. Anybody who's watched football knows that, but all you have to do is look back at the Super Bowl. The team that controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball won the game, and Killam made that comment that, like, if we got the teeth up front, so if you got a D line that's bothering the quarterback and rushing him, making him run around, sacking him every once in a while, that's going to make Tyrell even better, because then he knows, I know this ball has to come right away because I know my guys are getting there in 2 seconds.
It makes such a difference.
I know where this receiver's got to go to counteract that. So, yeah, like I often say, everybody's undefeated in the offseason. There's always hope. I think there's some legitimate hype around some of these signings for the Elks. Serezna, again, is another big one. I mean, he was asked if every team in the league was after him, and he said, well, not quite, but I got a lot of calls.
Pretty close.
So he's coming. Remember, he was traded for Curly Giddens Jr.
Yeah, funny.
In a trade that was a little surprising at the time. But I mean, you get bringing in a Canadian receiver, but Serezna, another good player, coming to the defense. Okay, we're in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. We'll dive into some Oilers chat. Like, what's going on with all this John Gibson stuff? Like, seriously? We'll talk about it with the Oil Understood in a couple of minutes.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive backs Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All three linemen came over from Toronto. Ford comes over from Winnipeg. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm and Victor Arvidsson, along with Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams in action on the hard court, including the Raps welcoming the Cavs, the Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out long term. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Transform your home at a fraction of the cost during Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event. From massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made furniture, Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event is a can't miss. Plus, enjoy free local white glove delivery and special financing offers to help you bring home the best. Visit Sit and Sleep today in South Common next to the Planet Fitness. The Oil Understood. After the break, my name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
They're trying to build some balance between the line. The team is so deep. There is only so many minutes. Like you're going to spread it out so that every line is incredibly dangerous. And they are. Generally, you have a guy that's more of a trigger man. You have a guy that's the transporter, skates the puck up, and the guy that's, we'll call it a little bit of utility. And you see that throughout the lineup.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, two country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
And Eric's new album, A Gentle Rain, this is track 4. entitled Puddles of Teas. Thanks, Brady. You're doing a great job. Thanks for filling in for the Coob today. Coob missing another show. Is he under the weather? I didn't even ask. I just assumed. Coob a little under the weather. So Brendan Eric, our Nate practicum student. I was once a Nate practicum student. Did you know that?
Do now.
Not here. But I went to Nate and I did a practicum.
Was it as fun as mine?
We have much in common, my young Padawan. Do you know what a Padawan is?
It's a Star Wars reference.
It is a Star Wars reference, baby. Just gonna note to self: call Chris Durham, praise Brendan Eric. Okay, appreciate you tuning in. Good interview there with Tyrell Ford as the Elks announced some free agents today at Commonwealth Stadium. Remember, if you're in the nasty chat on YouTube, continue to give us the thumbs up. If everybody rallies here, we can hit our minimum plateau of getting to 100 probably within the next couple of minutes. So click away with that. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I'll do the first limerick of the day coming in from Gavin. 4 nations will face off today in the game we all love to play. Teams are stacked. YTT is jacked. Hey, Canada, let's go, eh? That's pretty good. Is that a good Canadian accent, even though I'm Canadian? Hey, let's go, eh?
Let's go, eh?
Bob and Doug McKenzie. That was probably the first. Those two characters were one of the first things in my life that I can remember finding funny. Like actually, and feeling like a kinship with. Like this is something I laugh at, like this is a thing for me. And my dad thought it was funny. It was like, this is a thing I laugh at with my dad. You know what I mean?
My first memory of Bob and Doug McKenzie would be the 12 Days of Christmas song.
Well, so I had that tape, the Great White North album. So it has the Christmas song with Geddy Lee. It has one of them pretending to be a priest or somebody giving a sermon called Don't Kill Bugs, L. Ron McKenzie. So my name is L. Ron McKenzie. Don't kill bugs. Just because you hate a bug is no reason to kill it, eh? Because no matter how good you are, someone hates you. And then the next thing you know, you're gone. So don't kill bugs. That was the sermon. What else did they have in that? The Beer Hunter. It was so funny. I don't know. It was very good. But yeah, Geddy Lee from Rush sang on 12 Days of Christmas, right? 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. And I mentioned the email, Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. How did we get on the limerick, the Bob and Doug McKenzie thing?
Yeah.
Abutski says, my older twin brothers couldn't read each other's minds and lived hours apart as adults, but they always had an uncanny, accurate sense of when they needed to contact the other. Rob from the Grove says, take off, you hoser. Also from Bob and Doug McKenzie. Deskra says it was nice to see when Killam was at the Oilers presser with Knobloch. Both organizations can do something for the city. Well, winning championships. I know there's more to it than that, than being a pro team. Maybe I'll text somebody with OEG, see if they can get the Fords to a game.
It's
not
all
on my
over
dime though, but
it's all over the River Cree, but I think they could afford it.
The Fords or the Oilers to get them into a box or something. I think the Oilers could hopefully find space for them in a box and put them up on the big screen.
Yeah,
I know the Oilers don't need the Elks necessarily, but it's nice when the teams do nice things for each other.
Sure, and this is a big part, a big moment in this resurgence of this club. So
yeah, we hope.
Hopefully.
Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Brewhouse's 40-ounce steak night is back Saturday, February 22nd. Get a 40-ounce ribeye, salad, mashed potatoes, veggies, and cheese toast for $49.99. I just want to reiterate that is not a mistake on my part. It's a 40-ounce steak. Maybe you're listening for the first time or you don't always hear the part of the show where we talk about it. 40-ounce steak. Jay and I each attempted to eat one last week. We did not finish the thing, though it was delicious. Plus, a chance to win CBH Gearhead steak knife set. Get your tickets today in store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. That was a massive steak.
Yeah, it's too big. For me.
For one.
Yeah.
For us. There are people who may be able to finish it or finish more of it than we did.
Matt claims he has.
Matt Awana claims that he has. He claims a lot of things.
Yeah, he claims a lot.
All right.
Oh, Dustin.
Dustin was there.
No, he's not here.
Is Dustin here now?
Yeah, where's Dustin?
Don't see him. Don't see him here.
Pictures.
Don't see him
we
right now.
talked to the UFO guy. He's got lots of pictures. Matty.
Jeez, Matt.
I know who you are.
All right. Four Nations Faceoff tonight. Canada, Sweden, McDavid, Ekholm, Arvidsson. I predicted, I think in September, that the United States would win the tournament.
Yes, you did.
I was in Cool Bet because of our Super Bowl bets, and I noticed many weeks ago I bet $1 on the United States to win the tournament because I'm a high roller, everybody. Really, why bet? You don't need to bet more than $1 or $2 on a sporting event.
You don't need to bet anything.
Actually, you don't need to bet anything.
Yeah.
If you are betting, I generally keep it. My name is Reid Wilkins. I don't often bet, but when I do, I bet $1.
I would not you'd think I'd bet more on NFL weekends, but I'd look through the schedule and look for an anomaly or think something that I thought looked out of place. And I said, okay, I might be able to take advantage of this. That's the only time.
The casinos thought of that, though.
But if you're betting to make the game enjoyable, I don't know if you should be betting. Or maybe you just bet and don't watch sports. One or the other.
Yeah, I guess you could bet on sports and not actually like sports.
Matt bet on a horse race that he couldn't even see. True.
I have an account on that website. I think it's HPI Bet. I probably still have a few dollars in there. And you can just go log in, click, and you'll find a race somewhere in the world. And so you can just be like, okay, number 5 in this race in Australia. Let's go. Let's see how this horse does. So, hockey tonight. We got 3 Oilers in the game, and we have right now, as we do every day on the show, courtesy GCL Diesel, the oil understood. GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. So let me begin here with a statement and an observation about myself, because you've probably seen, Jay, and heard that I often do not dive deep into trade rumors or talk so much about hypothetical trades.
You downright reject them.
The reason I do that is because I don't find them interesting to talk about. Now, I understand in the world of sports and in the world of sports broadcasting, that makes me unusual, right? But here's the thing. We could do a 3-hour show every day on NHL trade proposals, and we would go absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Because 99.99% of them would never happen. And from Oilers fans, 99% of them would be unrealistic, lopsided trades that would favor the Oilers that the other team would never make. So I figure, why am I spending a lot of time talking about something so unsubstantive? Now, closer to the trade deadline, and we'll be coming out of that after the Four Nations break, we'll talk about it more and the Oilers' needs and who's realistically out there. But I see stuff, I see rumors. I guess just not just as a broadcaster, but even as a fan, it just doesn't excite me that much anymore. Maybe it did, and I know I'm different. But to me, it's just such a round and round and round. And here's another thing. If we did a show of trade proposals, by the end of the show, every player on the Oilers would have been traded by the fans. Like we'd end the day with an entire new roster that may or may not make sense or be under the salary cap or honor no movement clause or things like that. So generally, I don't view that let's just take a name and see if we can make a trade for him as something that is overly interesting to talk about, at least for an extended period of time. So I apologize to any listeners who are like, I wish Reid just did more on trade proposals and would hear me out and would talk about this and would tell me that this is realistic, and I'm going to be the fan that had the trade suggestion that saved the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, Reid, let me ask you this: you don't like to speculate because
sometimes depends.
You're not really out there and outlandish with your takes on, well, I think this is going to, I can only tell you what I know.
Right.
Okay. So what do you know about the current Oilers?
They have a very good team.
Very good team.
I think they have a very good team.
But you also know from doing this show with me, which I'm honored, by the way, that not everybody thinks that way. Correct? Fair to say? That even though this team is very, very good, there are...
I would hope by this point of the season, even the most pessimistic Oilers fan would admit they have at least a good team.
Okay, so who would you suggest would be one of the most polarizing players on this roster for the Oilers?
Stuart Skinner.
Stuart Skinner.
So that's where I want to go.
Okay.
Because what is the one thing John Gibson. Get John Gibson, trade for John Gibson. Now, first of all, as I often say, if this player became an Oiler, like with Klingberg, I didn't necessarily think that was a great idea for a signing. But I said once he's signed, we'll evaluate how he does. So if John Gibson or whoever else becomes an Oiler, we'll talk about it. So here's the thing. John Gibson doesn't play as much as he used to. I think he was injured earlier this year. Craig Button was on the morning show and said John Gibson, the last 4 years, has not been as good as he was earlier in his career, nor in as good of a team. But, Craig Button is TSN's director of scouting, so I put some stock into what he says. But here's the thing, and I don't necessarily want to turn this so much into a discussion about the Stuart Skinner's quality of play. I just want to look at it from this standpoint. And look, any trade is possible. If there's a trade that can help the team, then Bowman should make it. But I also don't understand the willingness that some Oilers fans might have to jettison Stuart Skinner off the team. And the reason I say that is because he just turned 26 in November, which for a goalie is still relatively young. John Gibson is going to turn 32 in the summer, so he might have a few years left, but age alone would suggest to me that you would want to give Stuart Skinner, a guy you drafted third overall almost 8 years ago, or pardon me, third round, 78th overall, a little more time to grow and develop and maybe become a better goalie than he is now. I guess now maybe people aren't thinking you would trade Skinner for Gibson. Maybe you think you'd keep Skinner as the backup and Picard's on the farm or something like that.
We have the best backup in the NHL.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you're willing to part with Stuart Skinner, you better be really, really, really convinced that he's not even an NHL backup at the age of 26. And again, thrown into a situation in which he wasn't supposed to be the number one goalie, maybe until even 2 years from now when he was 27 or 28. So that's what I'm saying. And this is why, if you take the emotion out of your trade proposals and you get pissed off at Stuart Skinner or Jeff Skinner or Nugent Hopkins or Bouchard, and you really, really look at trying to build a team long term, why would you want John Gibson as the goaltender, and why would you not want Stuart Skinner on the roster? Even if your argument is, well, Skinner should be a backup, that's fine. Why do you then want Gibson as the number one? That's what I don't understand. Maybe someone can explain it to me. That's partially why I'm throwing this out there. But this is also why I often just don't want to dive into trade stuff. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. If you're in the nasty chat, you can give us a thumbs up there as well. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Back after the break.
Diesel cars to SUVs to pickups, from farm tractors to school buses to a big rig, from diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out the grand opening sale in soon.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All three linemen came over from Toronto. Ford comes in from Winnipeg. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, and the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada, and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams in action on the hard court tonight, including the Raps welcoming the Cavs. The Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out for long term. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew, whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Reid and Jay are back with buying or selling. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Brendan, you're sounding great. Brendan Eric reading the sports updates and doing the technical production for the show today. Good job, buddy. Great to have you sitting in for Zachary Kubish today. Jason Milne is here. I'm Reid Wilkins. Yes, the game is at 6, just after 6 for Montreal between Canada and Sweden as finally it is the Four Nations Faceoff.
Have you come at long last?
Have you come at long last to entertain me, international hockey? Oh, I will miss you, Russia, Czechia, Slovakia, Germany, even you, Switzerland, and your chocolate and your watches. But I will settle for Four Nations, J. Milne, by candlelight, streaming the games on my laptop, as I bind a book of hockey facts, published by a local historian. I can't disclose more. The release date not yet announced. But I do look forward to it, Jason Milne. Will you watch along with me?
I'd love to, Bookbinder.
Perhaps tweet me?
I love that the Bookbinder does his work by candlelight, but streams the Four Nations on his laptop.
He doesn't. Well, he has a TV, but he doesn't have it in his work area because that would be distracting.
That would be distracting.
But the laptop is not.
The laptop.
So he's binding his books, and he has the laptop right there, and he looks at it. A lot of twine, a lot of candle, and a lot of twine to bind the books. Glue, probably.
Probably one of those old iMacs.
Yeah.
The ones that look dome-shaped. There you go. Reid, this is getting a lot of people's attention.
Imagine that. Text coming into the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday, 4 to 10 p.m.
Don't love Skinner. Don't hate him. Could be better. Could be worse. That comes in. This also comes in.
Well, that's a non-committal message.
Is as non-committal as ever.
I don't know how I feel about that text.
I don't love him. I don't hate him. But it could be better. Oh, but don't forget it could be worse. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Stu is our guy. I don't see a clear-cut upgrade anywhere. He's a drafted and developed goalie. Better hang on to him, or you could end up with someone like Campbell. And this is what I was talking to you about earlier, Reid. This has happened. Do Oilers fans forget about Devin Dubnyk? Devin Dubnyk ran out of town at the age of 27. And he found his home in Minnesota. At the age of 31, he played 67 games and had a .918. At 32, he played 65 games and had a .923. Right?
He was 15th in Hart Trophy voting with Minnesota in 16-17. I mean, pretty good. 5th in the Vezina. Yeah, look, and here's the thing. What did I say before the season about Stuart Skinner? Is that I regarded him as a second-tier goaltender because there are 6 or 7 goaltenders I would put in the top tier. Not all of them might be playing like that this year. Certainly Hellebuck is. And then I think there's a really big second tier of goaltenders that move around from year to year within that second tier. I think Skinner's most recent game was not a good game. Obviously, he got pulled. So that's what's going to get remembered till he can get out there. I mean, like most of the team, he didn't have a good first month of the season. I'm just saying that if you want to replace this player, you better be really damn sure you want to give up either him or other assets in a trade, right? The same with Bouchard. We talk about Bouchard's frustrating characteristics all the time, but you got to remember, you may not be getting a player back that has the positives that he has. And again, if we're specifically talking about getting John Gibson, I don't know if that's the answer. As a matter of fact, I do know that he's probably not the answer.
Well, maybe Reid, maybe he'd be the answer for this year. And maybe even next year. But Stu Skinner could be the answer for the next 5 to 6 years. Right?
Right.
And you'd just be flushing that down the toilet. You'd be flushing the development of Stu Skinner down the toilet for now. When don't forget, this is the craziest thing. I always have to, I'm going to pinch. Yeah, no, it is real. This team went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Why is that always lost?
But you have to understand, Jay, that look, I'm not going to generalize, but there are fans, and we hear from them, that will just say they did not win. Either you win or you are a failure. And I've already seen it in the nasty chat. He lets in bad goals like the game winner in Game 7. So the ascension to being within one win of the Stanley Cup for some people is not going to be good enough. It's not going to be a mitigating factor in criticism of him. It's going to be a contributing factor. The argument that for you to say to somebody, hey, he was one win away from being the Stanley Cup championship goaltender, isn't going to make some people say, oh, well, then he must be pretty good. They're going to say, yeah, exactly. See, I told you he sucks. He couldn't win Game 7.
Yeah, and I don't live my life like that. I
know you don't.
That's just the wrong approach, in my opinion, to look at that. This is a process. This is a process that this team is going through. Look at what they started out this year as. Nobody was good. Nobody was playing good.
Right.
Call it the Stanley Cup Finals run hangover. But guess what? They're really good right now. They're playing very spirited hockey. And yeah, Stu Skinner's not the best goaltender. He's not even in the top 5. He's probably not in the top 10. of NHL goaltenders. But guess what? He's got two of the best players in the NHL skating in front of him. There is a give and take.
We're buying or selling, by the way, for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. But like, here are the two sides of it, right? Traeger says in the nasty chat, and keep giving us a thumbs up, just imagine for 2 seconds the majority of Oilers fans completely supporting their home team goalie, a hometown kid, playing in the NHL, representing his hometown team. And where was the other one I saw? Deskra. Skinner got pulled on the way to the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. Well, 2 years ago they lost in the second round. So here's the thing, Jay. The fact, like, and Deskra, I don't know you. I'm not criticizing you personally. But the fact that he got taken out for 2 games halfway through the event, that's always on his resume as well. Like, if the Oilers would have won the Stanley Cup last year, there would, I'm betting, I'm speculating, okay? Allow me to speculate about you guys, everybody. You get to speculate about all the trades. There would still be people saying, yeah, but he didn't win all 16 games. They needed Pickard to win a game against Vancouver. So you can't win. I often say you can't win with the fans unless you win, but maybe you can't win even if you win, because if people want to detract you, they will always find that one thing.
Well, and look,
one thing.
I think right now this fan base realizes what is in front of for the majority. They realize that we are currently in the good old days. This is the times we're going to look back at and say, "Wow, that was great." So maybe there is more of an opportunity to pick the nit on this team and really dial in, because there's not much else to discuss, right? That's really the only reasoning I would be okay with, is like, well, everything else is pretty good, but Bouchard sucks on defense, so let's just rail on him.
Yeah.
Well, he does a lot of good things otherwise as well. Nobody's here saying Bouchard's a great defenseman. Nobody's here saying Stuart Skinner's the best goalie in the NHL. You and I get that.
I just say in general, if you're going to get rid of a player, like if you're going to replace a player, you better be sure it's someone you're willing to part with. Quite frankly, I don't know if Bouchard's going to... I can't 100% guarantee Bouchard is back in the fall, but I think it would be a bad idea to get rid of him before we see him in another playoff run. And to quote the Craig Button interview that was with Dusty and Eric yesterday or the day before, Craig Button said he went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Why not give him another shot at a postseason run? Before you decide we can't win with this guy. Before we decide we got to alter our salary cap and trade prospects or trade guys that are on the roster to replace Stuart Skinner in net. Right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you what player to like or criticize. I mean, when you're a talk show host, it's sports talk show host in Edmonton, you hear more criticism about the Oilers than almost anybody else. So that's fine. I'm just saying, why already give up on a 26-year-old?
26, Reid.
So Aiden Hill is 28. He would have been 26. And by the way, Aiden Hill didn't start, for everybody who's saying, well, Skinner missed, got taken out a couple games against Vancouver. Aiden Hill didn't play the first round and a half for Vegas because they didn't think he was good enough till he got in and did a great job. Kemper got hurt during the Edmonton series, Colorado-Edmonton, when they won the Cup. Francouz went in and won a couple games. Like, does that mean Kemper sucks because he didn't win all 16 games? I mean, crap happens, guys. Like, crap happens. So that's what I'm saying. That I wouldn't, and we see it all the time, right? We see it all the time. A player's here, gets criticized, he leaves. Oh, I wish Cece was on this team. Like, and again, and this is why I don't get into trade proposals, because they're not going to make 20 trades. Okay, they're probably going to make 1 or 2. So I'm not going to discuss a hypothetical trade for every player on the roster, because the large majority of them won't happen. That's all I'm saying.
This one comes in. I think fans are stuck in the 80s when you had it all. Goalies, D, offense, different game, different era, and now a salary cap. Matty Dub says, people who want Stu gone are missing the point. He was forced into the starting job because of Campbell, probably at least a year early. In 2 years, he has been a Calder Trophy nominee, then went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. This is an impressive start to a career. He is also a major bargain with his cap hit, which is also...
I think you have to factor that in. And the realistically trying to add Gibson as well.
Rip City Step, the people who hate Bouchard and Skinner will never give them credit for helping the Oilers win. C'est la vie.
Well, it is a c'est la vie situation, isn't it?
I believe it's c'est la vie.
I think it's, exactly, as we say in Evansburg. So anyway, so I spent some time here on the Gibson stuff, kind of as a way to tell you why I usually don't spend time on that type of stuff. It's the same thing I've been saying to everybody. Well, trade Jeff Skinner. Okay, wake me when Jeff Skinner waives his no-move clause. It's Knobloch's job to coach him to get better, and Skinner's job to put in Jeff Skinner's job to try to put in the work to get better. I think it's going to be, in my mind, another attempt at the playoffs with Bouchard on the blue line and Stuart Skinner in net. And we talk about the areas they might try to tweak, maybe some bulk or speed on lines 3 or 4. Maybe a little more depth on D. You can do something bigger and not take apart your prospect base, which isn't very big to begin with, then okay, maybe you do that. And hey, if they go get another goalie and he's clearly a better goalie than Stuart Skinner, that is great. I'm just saying a lot of the suggestions I hear for a replacement goalie aren't clearly better than him. So why are we talking about them?
Agreed. Big Slam Nasty in the Nasty chat. When you have a nice new car that is consistent and does the job, do you go out and get an older one that costs more? Come on. Yeah, I mean, Reid, everybody's going to have an opinion and they're entitled to it. Just like you are, just like I am. We don't believe that the sky is falling because we look at the standings. Quite frankly. And I think this is a team that has one goal in mind, and that is getting back first into the playoffs, first into the second, third round, and winning the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
That's what the goal is. The goal is not to have a goalie with the best save percentage.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I always look at how the team plays as well. I don't think it's I also look at how the whole team plays in front of the goaltender as well. Now, great goaltending is important, right? There's no doubt about that. But as I often it's just a circular argument, and that's why I get tired of it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't win without elite goaltending. Well, how many current elite goaltenders have not won the Stanley Cup? Hellebuck, Shesterkin, Sorokin, Ottinger, on and on you go. That's all I'm saying. 780-218-9099, 9999 is the River Cree inbox. You all right, Jay?
Yeah. Just trying to monitor it.
Well, people get upset.
People are fired up. Well, there's don't kid yourself. There is way more pro chill out, calm down, step back from the ledge. Everything's going to be okay coming in than there is this team is a dumpster fire. And Skinner's got to go. So
well, and I view it as a positive. I view it as a positive that Edmonton fans have a team that is good enough that it won't truly be evaluated till the postseason. That's actually a luxury. There is some team that's going to make the second round and their season will be a success. Like Seattle a couple of years ago. They beat Colorado in the first round, the defending champs. They took Dallas to Game 7, right? They got knocked out. That season was a success. Edmonton, the aspirations are higher, which I think is a positive thing. All right, we got to call a quick timeout. Here comes What's his nickname? Brundon? I've never called him that. It's Brendan with a sports update.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Mattias Ekholm and Victor Arvidsson along with the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Bennington will have the start for Canada and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams in action on the hard court, including the Raps welcoming the Cavs. The Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out long term. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off for free of charge. Find out how you can make an impact at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. That's 780-988-1717. Reid's top 3. Jerseys 16 through 9 are next. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta injury lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. Appreciate you checking out the show. 6 o'clock tonight, McDavid and Canada against Arvidsson, Ekholm, and Sweden to start the Four Nations Faceoff.
Let's go, girls.
Wonder how David Lee Roth feels about this tournament.
Whoa! Whoa!
Like, I'd like to see the lyric sheet for that.
I think he was just ad-libbing and filling.
It was like, hey, Eddie, when you're doing that solo, what if I went, And it was Eddie like, I'm actually one of the best guitar players in the world. I don't think you need to scream over my solos. I'm pretty sure I know, Eddie. That was the start of David Lee Roth eventually leaving Van Halen 7 years later. And him screaming during Running with the Devil.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, my goodness. We are coming to you from the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Just seeing some tweets from Gary Bettman comments. He confirms that the World Cup 2028 will be held, and looks like they are accepting bids. NHLPA Executive Director Marty Walsh saying, we're going to the Olympics. We plan on being at this time next year in Italy. The Dan Rosen from NHL.com reporting this. Dan also writes, the length of the break in the NHL season for the 2028 World Cup will be in part determined by which cities are hosting the games, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman said. So there you go, more international hockey with more teams in the tournaments, probably.
A World Cup.
Now a World Cup. Maybe with Leon Draisaitl.
Maybe. With some of the best players in the game.
Yes. 4 years from now, will Leon Draisaitl, or 3 years from now, will he still be one of the best players in the game? Let's hope so.
What a grand idea.
It really is.
Kudos to Gary Bettman for coming up with that.
The off-topic topic for William Huff. Which country has the best cuisine? We've had some strong votes for Italy and Greece. Somebody's saying Thai food. I think we had a vote for Japan. The Big Uke voted for Ukrainian food, which I'd be partial to as well, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm not sure.
Rob from the Grove says, I would put Vietnamese food against Chinese food, with Vietnamese winning. The other two would be Italian food versus Ukrainian food. That winner there would be Italian.
So that's his Four Nations face-off of food.
So the Grand Champ is Italian. Great topic today.
Oh, thanks.
Plastic Cheese says Mexican. There are so many different regional styles of fresh, delicious, and complex flavors.
Oh, neat.
It's more than just tacos and burritos.
Yeah, I think, and again, I mean, what's the one thing, again, maybe somebody will say, no, Reid, that's not true. But I have heard from multiple people over the years that Chinese food served in North America is not the same as Chinese food you would get in China. That it's westernized Chinese food.
Oh, 100%.
So, how do you really know?
But I like the westernized version of Chinese food.
Right.
But I don't know what Chinese food is. I'm just saying I like ginger beef.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. I love it.
A friend of mine, I think she went to Thailand, I believe. And I remember when she came back, she commented at just how less filling and less fatty the food was, like in a good way. Like you just felt satisfied. And you and I have talked about that too. Like we like food, but we like meals where you feel, hey, you know what? I'm just full. I'm just good. The serving size was nice. The weight of the food was nice. And I can feel good and get on with my day as opposed to like, oh my God, I got to lie down for 3 hours and I feel like I can't eat for a week.
Reid, in saying that, I might throw my, if you had tokens that you could throw in each barrel, say each cuisine style, I might throw a few tokens in Mexican. Because it usually is light.
Yeah, I feel like, and there's a lot more to Mexican food than, it's tacos.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? But usually if they are a taco, you're a smaller sample size. You can sample around, different flavors, different meats, different sauces.
Tom Gazzola has put an Italian flag in the nasty chat.
What does he know?
He knows a lot. Tom's a smart man. All right, let us do the top three for food sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount, 10% off your order if you enter the online code EST. If you go to the store, just mention Edmonton Sports Talk. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So this is actually going to be our middle 8 today for Reid's top 3. We are ranking all 32 jerseys, uniforms in the National Hockey League. So on Monday, we did 32 to 25, starting from the bottom. Hello, X-Ray J. How's it going? 24 through 17 was yesterday. So now we're doing 16 to 9. So now we're into the top half of our favorite jerseys in the National Hockey League. Again, personal opinion. We kind of give a reason behind each one. We have had a lot of them sort of in the same ballpark. Yeah.
I would imagine, well, I don't know. I think this is where you could see some differentiation because it's getting tighter. But that being said, there's limited options left.
Yeah.
So we have been pretty lockstep. What? 5 out of 8 the first day were the same.
Yeah. So I don't know what all of them here. Yesterday we both had, well, you had the Islanders 24. I had them 18. Philadelphia, you had 18. I had 17. Colorado, you had 23. I had 20. Yeah, so we're getting, but still, there's some, like, as people know, I put Detroit in my bottom 5. You have yet to have Detroit on your list.
And
we'll
guess
see
what?
Where that winds up.
They ain't on
They're
today's
in the top
list.
8. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess you like unoriginality and not creativity.
It's my opinion, Reid.
All right. My number 16, so just barely in the top half, is the Utah Hockey Club. I think it's a good jersey. I don't need a logo on it necessarily. I think they did they had the diagonal lettering, and I do think the colors work. I think it's a pretty good color scheme with good striping. And it was funny because when we said we were doing this, we immediately got some messages, not like tons, but I don't know, 4 or 5, saying, oh, you guys are going to have Utah last. Well, we both put Anaheim last. I don't think the Utah jersey is a disaster by any means. I get they don't have a name and they don't have a drawing of something on their shirt, but I have Utah at number 16.
Well, and I will say this. I'm not far off from you. I have Utah at 15th.
Okay.
So we're very much similar there. And yeah, I don't dislike it. I do like the color scheme. I like the baby blue on the navy blue. I actually like the Utah lettering. I think it looks like their state. You know? Like
I never thought of that.
It works for some odd reason. And as our colleague Matthew Wannick says about the HC, the hockey club, I don't mind that either. So if they did stick with this, I'm in favor of that. So that was my 15th. My 16th, though, would be Vancouver. This is where the orca goes to sleep.
Okay.
Go to sleep, little orca. Yeah, I just, yeah. It's okay. And the only thing that does it for me is the color scheme. Like I do like the way that that shade of blue and that shade of green pop off each other. So I do like that. It reminds me of the old Seahawks color scheme.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right. So at 16, I have Utah. You have Vancouver. I had Vancouver at 24. I don't like it as much. You have Utah at 15. I got an original 6 team at 15.
Okay.
I got the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, I think they're solid jerseys. There's a lot of blue. I like a little bit more variety. The logo is, if having a leaf on the shirt wasn't enough, they also have Toronto Maple Leafs written inside the leaf.
It's all about branding,
so they're really making sure that that's what it is. Again, a nice jersey. I mean, we are getting in the top half, so I don't find anything offensive about these. They have had some different iterations over the years, but most of them pretty much look like this. A fine jersey. There is a grammatical error because it's leaves, but I got the Toronto Maple Leafs at 15. You already had Utah at 15. Do you want me to go to my 14? Sorry, Brendan, are we going too fast for you? You may not have time to get them all up. People have theater. Most people are listening on the stream anyway, the iHeartRadio app or the TuneIn Radio app or on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you're on YouTube, keep clicking that thumbs up. Everybody rallied and got us past 100, and now it's slowed down a little bit. So keep clicking, get us to 130 so we can get up a word of the day. There's the Leafs jersey up there now.
I like on the Leafs jersey that the tie's at the neck.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I think that does go hand in hand given the history of the jersey. And it's a little bit of a throwback logo with the leaf. So this did not make my 8 today.
VR Montenegro says lists are bogus. Well, we should do a list of the top 5 most bogus lists at some point. I get it, VR, but sometimes they're fun to do it. And we're doing 32. It's not like a lazy, well, let's rank 2 things. 14, I have the Los Angeles Kings. So, like I said, we're in the top half. I think this is a solid jersey. They went back to the black and silver, which is what they started wearing in the early 90s, around the time Gretzky got there. Maybe the season Gretzky got there. So they brought this back. I think this is a good look, the nice large jersey. I think the black and the silver work well together. The white stripe on the bottom is a little thick for my liking, but I like what they did with the stripes on the sleeves. I think simple. I think grabs you very distinct when you turn on the TV. Oh, that's the Kings playing. I got LA at 14.
14, I also had LA.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So that's only the second time we've matched exactly.
And
the
right.
other California team.
And you're right. The saving grace of that is that they brought back the shield, the old school Kings, the black and silver predominant. It is a sharp. The color scheme is almost unmatched.
Deskra says, Deskra, you got to tell me if you used to listen to me on Ched. Does the Kings rating drop if they are wearing the silver helmets? Yes, because when they unveiled those, I mocked those relentlessly. Those are terrible. So yes, if
they were tinfoil,
if the silver helmets were the permanent helmet, that would have dropped. But we said we're not rating alternates, and the silver helmet is an alternate look. But if that were the primary helmet, yes, I probably would have dropped them. That's a good point, Deskra. All right, let's do 13, and then we'll break and come back and finish this group of 4. You had this team at 21. This is a team I mock their nickname, though I got to admit the jerseys look fairly good. I got them at 13. I have the Pittsburgh Penguins at 13. I do agree with you that Penguin is pretty big on the front.
Abnormally large.
Almost too big. I'm not in love with the logo, but black and gold, good colors. I think they did a good job with them. You've heard me say this earlier today and in the other 2 days this week. If I turn on the TV and if they didn't have a logo at center ice and they didn't have the bug of who's playing, would I know who's playing? Can I immediately tell who's playing? And with Pittsburgh, I think you could immediately tell. So they have that going for them. I got Pittsburgh at 13.
And I have Dallas at 13.
Oh, I see. I had them at 21.
Yeah.
The Dallas Rough Riders.
See, I don't see Rough Riders in this at all. With the Dallas, I like how they incorporated the D into the star. I like the colors. They pop. I love the simplicity of the striping on the arms and the bottom of the jersey. Well done.
Okay, we'll do 12 through 9. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. See, I mention it, and the numbers go up. I got to be like a teacher, constantly reminding people. Like the coach who yells, back check, back check. Players know they got to back check, but sometimes they got to be told.
Get out of the key. 3 in the key.
3 in the key. Get out of the key. Get out of the key there, Johnny. Jablonski, get out of the key. But you told me to post up, coach.
I have a
Not for 4 seconds.
I have a basketball story for later.
Oh, for Fired Up. Jay's got an excellent basketball story. He told me a little bit of this one. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Brewhouse wing flavors of the month are going head to head. Oh, this is fun. Mm-hmm. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. Bang Bang. That sounds like a X-Men supervillain. Is that Bang Bang Sauce? Wolverine. Take him out. Which one's got your vote? Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night and find out. Our house is your house. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. I think they both could be X-Men villains. Talk to you in a couple minutes.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All 3 D linemen came over from Toronto. Ford comes in from Winnipeg. The 4 Nations starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, and the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams are in action in the association tonight. The Raps welcome the Cavs, the Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. And over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out long term. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Reid and Jay, right back after these messages. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
The Lock Shop.
If Canada were to not win this game, you're basically putting yourselves in a situation where you have to beat the U.S. and you have to beat Finland in your next 2 games. The sense of urgency for our Canadian team, it better be there going up against a Sweden team that I think, embraces the underdog role, going in, playing on the road, knowing that there's a ton of pressure on this Canadian team when things get going.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, 2 country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've got to do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. If you're in the nasty chat on YouTube, hope you're enjoying it, everybody. You can also give us a thumbs up as well. We are pushing toward 130. If everybody clicked away right now, you might be the 130th clicker that gets us to word of the day territory. What song is that? Somebody put in the nasty chat the singer and what song that is. That one should be easier than the David Lee Roth one.
Whoa! Whoa!
Like it's just you thought he was done right after that one woo, and then it's like, no, I got the breath for one more. Good job, DLR. Who's this, everybody? Yeah, pretty good.
You're getting called out.
Who?
You.
For what?
Based on Reid's rating of the Detroit Red Wings, why does he not feel the same way about the Leafs jersey? Put them side by side. The Leafs have blue pants and socks.
Yep.
All right.
Like the Leafs jerseys are more interesting.
You think the Leafs logo is better than the Detroit Red Wings logo?
I don't know. I never thought of it that way.
Maybe you're just more.
Why is everybody so upset that I think the Detroit jerseys are boring?
It's maybe it's just.
What is Gordie Howe's cousin texting the show?
Could be.
All right, a lot of people got Oh, it's not Lick It Up, though. It is Paul Stanley of Kiss, Evil Twin, Heaven's on Fire. I look at you and my blood boils hot. Jason Milne.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, too.
All right, let's do jerseys 12 through 9. We're ranking the top 32 jerseys in the National Hockey League. So we're now into the top 12. So this is getting pretty good here. You had this team 20th. I've kind of always liked this team's jerseys, and they've had some different looks over the years. I got the St. Louis Blues at 12. First of all, it's a team name about music that makes sense, unlike the Utah Jazz. That has nothing to do with the jersey rankings. I think they got a cool logo. I think that the jerseys just work, and I don't know if they still do it, but the Fort McMurray Oil Barons would always model their jerseys after whatever the St. Louis Blues were doing. I don't know if I ever find out why that was.
Oh, fun!
But I generally like the Blues jerseys. I like one of their players, a couple of their players.
Sure, you do
quite a bit. I got the Blues at number 12.
My number 12. I'm going with the Devils of New Jersey. It's nothing per se against their current jersey. They just had it so right when they had the David Putty off of Seinfeld jersey, where there was the green incorporated.
Oh, Patrick Warburton? That was the actor, wasn't it? No, the green was terrible.
No,
those are the Christmas tree. No, the red and black's way better. Way better.
My opinion, I have the New Jersey Devils at 12.
I have them at 11. And again, generally I like red and black, but I like the stripes on the shoulders. They got the color on the shoulders. Good sleeve striping, I think, is interesting. Good shade of red, and again, to me, distinct. If you turn on the television, you can instantly tell it's the New Jersey Devils. Mike, the Michigan fan, says Reid probably won't talk to me if I wear my Red Wings jersey on Saturday.
I bet you would.
I feel like this is getting a little overblown that I put I know Mike's having fun there.
Well, it is what it is.
Somebody had to be 28th, everybody. It was Detroit on my list. I'm sorry. At least we don't have any Anaheim Ducks fans all like, oh, I can't believe you put us last.
No,
That's how the average Duck fan sounds. Yeah.
Duffman says, I'm with Reid. The Detroit jerseys are boring.
Well, thank you. Somebody agrees with me.
Good. I can feel your anger.
So you got New Jersey 12. I have them 11. Who's your 11?
Boston.
Okay, and Boston's my 10.
Really?
Yes. Now, not a team I'm fond of, as I've stated several times.
You have to take that bias out of it. I mean,
what if it's Boston, but it's a Marchand jersey? And he's going to play on your line in a tournament.
The only reason I have an issue with, there's two reasons I have an issue with the Boston jersey. One, like Brad Marchand, the logo's too small. It's little compared to the proper size it should be on the jersey. It just looks miniature. And then they have this white stripe under the shoulder. They have the nice yellow shoulders, but they have this white stripe. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. But yeah, Brendan, if you can get the Boston jersey up, because Reid's going to talk about it and tell everybody, the other striping's good. But when you look at the logo of this current Boston jersey, it is like the Pittsburgh one was grossly big. This is grossly undersized.
And Boston is one of these teams, sort of what the Leafs do. They make subtle changes every once in a while because they've done some jerseys with less striping, more striping. Didn't they have yellow down the arm at one point? But yeah, I think it's a good, strong, bold jersey. I mean, I know some people, the logo is just a letter. I'm like, yeah, but that's, you want a simple logo, and they started when logos wouldn't have been as complex. So, yeah, but
I don't mind the
black
logo.
And gold, generally a good color combo.
Yeah, it's just too small. So that was my 11
and my 10. So we've now done Boston, Brendan. We're sorry. He will hate us by the end of this show. Why didn't you stay in broadcasting, Brendan?
Well, let me tell you.
Jersey Day.
These guys are ranking the jerseys.
You got it.
He got it up. There we go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's well put together. And yeah, they have done thicker striping on the bottom. And there was a time they had almost a yellow outer sleeve, which I didn't like as much, but I like this look on the sleeve. And they've even done without any yellow shoulder patches. They just have all black up there.
And credit for the tie straps at the top. I get it, but
yeah, I never thought to put that in my evaluation. But that's a good point.
The logo is just small. So that was my 11. My 10. I'm keeping it in Canada. Going to Winnipeg. Going for the old Jets.
Okay.
The shade of blue. But it's just like they couldn't make up their mind. At least with Utah's jersey, they stuck to a pattern of light blue, white, light blue. Here it's light blue, white, light blue, dark blue, light blue, white, light blue. It's too much going on. The logo has been bagged on before. I'm not going to hop on that. I think it's a perfectly normal logo and it represents something. And the baby blue stripe at the bottom is the tip of the iceberg for me on the Winnipeg Jets.
I mean, you got them 10th, so you think they're pretty good.
Not bad.
Your complaints are quite minor.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Cheeky Pegger says, Glue Guy, how dare you? LOL. Chris says, sorry if I missed it or if you guys talked about it. Is there any word on the Oilers' new jersey yet? Chris, look at me. Make eye contact with me here, Chris. Okay? I want you to just breathe. Okay? I want you to just take a deep breath. Okay? They probably won't unveil that jersey until the summer. Tom Gazzola has talked about it and I think described it for the third jersey.
It's very, very they're very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, they don't want it. But I think Tom's seen it, though. Has Tom not seen a version of it? Or
if he has, he's doing a good job keeping it to himself.
Yeah.
Bruh. He is good at that, though.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
My number 9, Deskra says zoom in when I lean forward like that. Deskra will do that. Hello, Deskra. I want you to peer deep into my eyes. You're getting very sleepy. Very, very sleepy. You are dreaming of a tournament with 8 nations, not just 4. Many will mock you, but you must take this idea forward into the world. All right. Jasmine says, did I miss word of the day? No, Jasmine, if you listened all the time, you'd know we would do it at the end of the show in an hour. I don't know how Jasmine still talks to me or even acknowledges my existence with how I react to some of her stuff in the nasty chat. My number 9, people are going to get mad at me for this. People might get madder at me for this than having Detroit 28. Now, again, I'm having this 9th. I think it's a very, very good jersey. I would not put it in the... Well, some people would have this number 1. And I do think it's a very, very good jersey. I think it's a classic look with a good color. And I like the striping generally. I just think there are 8 better jerseys than this, and it's Chicago.
Oh,
remember,
wow.
9's still pretty high, everybody.
I thought you were going to drop the Oilers on us there.
I have the Oilers in my top 8, baby.
Me too.
Maybe slightly homerish, but I do think they have a good kit.
And I have Chicago in my top 8. So we're disagreeing slightly on this, but not far.
Okay.
I will tell you that, but not far. So what do you not like about Chicago?
Nothing. I think it's very nice. I just think there are 8... to me, more eye-popping, better-looking jerseys.
I noticed the team. I don't think... Can I see your list quickly?
You want to see the top 8? What are you looking at?
No. Okay.
Oh, what do you want? No, what do you want?
I don't think either of us have taken... I'm just trying... Well, we'll leave it for tomorrow, but it'll be surprising, I think, to most.
There's a very new team that neither one of us has taken. Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah.
The newest team.
Possibly.
They're play-by-play guys from Detroit. He didn't like where I had the Red Wings either. I got a tweet about it from Everett. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah.
My number 9 team is Buffalo. They're good. They're good. The shade of blue just doesn't do it for me. And you put the shade of blue on the paleness of Rasmus Dahlin, and it just...
He's going to be wearing yellow tonight. Actually, I don't know if they're wearing yellow or blue. I'm not even sure.
Sends me into a tizzy.
What color are the teams wearing tonight? I don't even look. Is Canada in red and Sweden in yellow? Or is Canada in white and Sweden in blue?
Great question. I don't know.
Or I guess they could go blue or they could go white and yellow, I suppose. I don't even know.
There's no reason for them to change jerseys at all.
Canada's wearing the red jerseys, aren't they, tonight?
But is there a reason for them to go red and white? Can't you just say choose your jersey and go with it?
Well, I don't know if they would have like Canada red and the United States blue.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. I forgot. This tournament's about money. They're trying to sell jerseys. There'll
Jasmine
probably be an
knows
alternate
Canada,
jersey.
but what colors? So if Canada's wearing red, then Sweden will wear yellow tonight. The Trichrona.
Yeah, Buffalo is just too pale.
3 crons.
Too pale.
Did I think I actually hypnotized Deskra. That's another character. Hypno the Magnificent. I don't know what voice I did. It was a more deep, mysterious voice.
We could get a hypnotist on the show.
You want to?
I know one.
Who?
It's quite good. Keith Miller.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't want to be hypnotized, though.
He trained under that Wayne Lee.
Oh, the guy who did the card
The guy who did the card check at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
All right.
Hypnotize all the nasties.
So 16 through 9 today. Jay goes Vancouver, Utah, LA, Dallas, New Jersey, Boston, Winnipeg, and Buffalo. My 16 through 9, Utah, Toronto, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, New Jersey, Boston, and Chicago. So we both had LA at 14. So if people are keeping track at home, and why wouldn't they be? They should be able to figure out who we have in our top 8 and try to guess who we have. We're going to, I'm going to have, well, you got Detroit in your top 8, obviously. You had Florida at 17. I have them in my top 8.
Really?
Yep. I'm not going to say where, but I could, well, people will know they're missing. It's going to be fun tomorrow. See where we have the Oilers. But we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We will have 5 teams in common in the top 8, which I think is pretty high.
Yeah, it's just how they shake out, how the order
and
goes.
you just had Buffalo at 9, and I have them in my top 8, so that's
Pretty
very close.
I think we're actually, other than the obvious one of Detroit, which has been talked about, I think we've been pretty bang on.
Yeah, we've had some 8 or 9 apart, maybe.
Well, that's what best friends do.
But not like, yeah, Detroit's going to be the furthest one.
Yes, by far.
Yeah. Well, what can I say?
By far, Reid.
What can I say?
By far.
I got a grudge against the entire state of Michigan.
You?
And people from Michigan who call themselves Michigan fans in the nasty chat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Mike the Michigan fan better watch out. He's going to get some hack weight, head high hack weight, and a little bit of chin music.
His curl into his feet every time.
Who's the most
you
famous
see him.
curler from Michigan? There must be some pretty famous curlers from Michigan.
You know who's a curler now? The former Minnesota Viking.
Oh, Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
He started the curling professional. Like, didn't he have something to do with the...
Yeah, this new, that bought the World Curling Tour.
Yeah.
Limerick from, did I read this one already? Oh, no, I didn't. From Gavin. Oh, he wanted me to play the Makes My Day clip, but I don't have it on my computer.
And that's a shame.
So I'll have to say it live.
I'm
doing it live. I'm doing it live.
Brendan, did you have the... do you have the
where are
Limerick
the
music?
clips?
Just start pressing
Brendan's
buttons
like,
till it
Jay,
goes.
could you not talk to me? Or... Gavin says, the Bonspiel is 3 days away. With rocks and brooms, we shall play. Scream, hurry hard. Put up that guard. On the button sure makes my day. All right, it's 5 o'clock. Break and an update.
Love is in the air.
I love you.
And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. TrackMan golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, two country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford, defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All three linemen came from Toronto. Ford is coming in from Winnipeg. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, and Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada, and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams will be in action on the hard court tonight, including the Raptors when they welcome the Cavs. The Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out long term. Green Jay are back with Game of the Night. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Track number 7 from Brendan's album, I'm a Traveling Man. Apparently, I did not know this. I probably should have known it. I apologize to the universe for not knowing it, but Boomstick says in the nasty chat, for the Four Nations, every team just has one jersey. Canada red, U.S. blue, Sweden yellow, Finland white. So they're not going with a light and a dark kit. If you're in the nasty chat, please give us a thumbs up. We're 3 away from word of the day. So if you click it, you might be 130. We want to get to 150 for a double word of the day, but at least to 130 for a word of the day. We, of course, are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out online, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Coming up in about 20 minutes, a little less than 20 minutes, we're going to have a story. Now, we have a lot of fun on this show, on this station. We talk a lot of sports. This is not going to be a feel-good sports story, but I think it's important to tell it because we got a local youth team, like, was it 9 and 10-year-olds, that got ripped off. And now we're going to get the full story from one of the parents, who's also a local Edmonton-based filmmaker, Adam Scorgie. But allegedly, the coach took like tens of thousands of dollars from fundraising. And there's, I believe, well, we'll find out, but I think the police are involved here. So we want to get this out there because it's not great. And unfortunately, Jay, you hear about things like this. Sometimes somebody decides to do some bad things and take advantage of kids and families trying to play a sport. So we will have the details of that. And I think it's an important story, though it might be a little bit heavier and not going to provide the laughs we usually try to provide. You can text us at 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. You got any text you want to do right now, my friend? Or are we okay for the moment?
We're pretty caught up, Reid. Now we see why people are ripping on Oilers players when you can't even get through a jersey list without controversy. Well said.
Is it controversy? Just people have different opinions. That's all. I don't know if it's controversy. I don't know if having a list of which is quite a lighthearted, hey, there's no Oilers game this week topic.
Yeah.
that we're ranking the jerseys. I don't know if I see that as controversial.
Well, Tuna Melt feels otherwise as well. Reid, you must be sniffing glue with all the bookbinding you've been doing if you think that the Detroit Red Wings jerseys are the worst in the league.
First of all, I am not a bookbinder. So, and second of all, the Detroit Red Wings I do not have as the worst in the National Hockey League. I have Anaheim as the worst in the National Hockey League.
Okay, true or false?
Good. I can feel your anger.
True or false? Tonight's Four Nations Faceoff opener, featuring Canada and Sweden, is sold out.
I don't even know. I'll say false.
False. There's not many tickets left, but do you find that interesting?
Yes, I do find it interesting.
That now, okay, let me ask you this: if that if that tournament was happening here instead of Montreal, would it be sold out, or
Yes.
does it matter?
Would it be sold out if it was in Edmonton? Yes, because of McDavid.
Gotcha. So
I don't know. Or maybe people. I guess it would depend on the prices.
So Mott and Bow didn't move the needle.
Mott and Bow did not get the Canadiens fans to rally to go to the game.
Unlike what Matty
watch him
Iwanek
sit in the
said.
press box.
He said Mott and Bow is there because it's in Montreal. Well, I'm sorry. Mott and Bow has not delivered. I wonder if he's even on the team tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, they're going to throw him off the team. That's great, Jay. So, it would take a lot to throw a team off this tournament.
But I mean, if you're looking at 300 level seats, they're $330.
Yeah, I don't know if people in Edmonton would have paid that. They certainly would not have paid it for Finland, US tomorrow.
Oh, some of these are resale, Reid. I may be totally out to lunch.
Yeah,
here.
I did not look at ticket prices, nor was I
just assume
interested
if
in
you go on the Ticketmaster site and there says there's seats available, that those are available. But Section 429, standard ticket $294.37.
Really?
Section 434, row C, $279.51.
Yeah, see, I would not pay that for this tournament. An Olympic playoff game, I might consider that, quite frankly. $300, Canada in it, I might consider that. An Olympic round robin game, I wouldn't pay that. The game's at 6 Mountain Time for somebody asking in the nasty chat. I don't know how much pregame there is. Maybe it might start at 6:15, but it's a 6 o'clock game.
51 minutes and 40 seconds from now. Puck drop.
Oh, is there a countdown somewhere? Did you find a countdown?
No, there's a clock right there.
So it's at 10 after? Did you find the official
said
start time?
51 minutes.
But it's not starting at 6, though. It'll start a little after 6.
You
That's what
said
I'm
it
saying.
starts at 6.
Right, but this is like how Oilers games start at 7,
Oh,
but they
okay,
start
okay,
at
okay.
7:08 or whatever. That's what I meant. But somebody said it's at 5:30. No, it's at 6.
I know who you are.
Okay, I don't even know why I'm playing these anymore. I just like having the soundboard. Yeah, big tournament tonight.
Let's go, girls.
That's Shania. You know that? Shania is joining, what's the show called? Winnipeg Sports Talk? No, not WST. CGT. Isn't she joining Canada's Got Talent as a judge? I thought I saw that commercial.
You could tell me she was, and I wouldn't know.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw that in a commercial. I don't watch those shows, but I saw it advertised.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a pregame at 5:30 on Sportsnet. Chris putting in. See, this is great. People just help us all out. We are at 130 thumbs on YouTube. Keep clicking, everybody. If you haven't clicked, don't wait. Text 2 friends, family members, colleagues, enemies, and let them know to thumb up the show as well. If we can get to 150, it'll be a double word of the day a little bit later on. Our game of the night is presented by Play More Tables and Games.
Play more tables and games.
From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room Experts locations in Edmonton and Calgary or online at playmoregames.ca.
Tables and games.
Thank you. I got to go with my game of the night as the Four Nations Faceoff. It's still hockey. It's still some of the greatest players on the planet. It has a huge Oilers angle with not just McDavid in it, but Ekholm and Arvidsson in it. And let's face it, Oilers fans, this might be the beginning of Arvidsson's turnaround.
Ooh.
If he has a big tournament, he's going to come out of it like flying like a cannonball into the final third of the Oilers season. He's going to be like a rocket ship on full rock mode. Okay? He's going to have it cranked to 11. Victor Arvidsson's going to skate out for his first shift at the tournament, take the mic away from the anthem singer and say,
"Do we want to get right?"
And away he goes.
This is dangerous.
Thank you.
My game of the night's going to be the Portland Trail Blazers blazing into Denver to take on the Nuggets. Currently a 10.5 point spread, but Association City, am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right. Who's playing? Sorry? What's your game?
Portland at Denver.
Poor at Den.
Yeah.
We got a Canadian on Denver, right? Jamal Murray. By the way, we should, like, the what's his name? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's leading the NBA in scoring.
Yeah, he's good.
Canadian guy. He's incredibly good.
He's good.
Yeah. And is Oklahoma City tops in the league? That's who he's on, right? Are they the number one team in the league? They're up there.
I'm pretty sure that they're far and away the number one team.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
The NBA website just baffles me.
I never go on the NBA website. Is it bad?
Yep.
How so?
Just
NBA.com. Let's look at it.
It's got like a sporting news banner at the top.
Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. And it's like nothing works.
Oklahoma City is 43-9. Cleveland, is 43-10.
Yeah, it's been those two going back and forth at the top. I don't know. Wake me when the playoffs start, I guess.
Yeah,
NBA basketball is just hard to watch, man. It is. It's just a 3-point shooting contest. There's not absolutely.
It's different.
Very little defense.
Who's the Canadian on Portland? I couldn't list all the Canadians in the NBA. I probably should know. Murray's on Denver, right?
Yeah.
Olynyk just got traded by the Raptors. I can't remember where he got traded to.
Brendan, are you an NBA guy?
He likes just like the Atlanta Braves. He's got the hat. He's just looking at me like, how long until 6 o'clock?
Don't talk to me.
My God. When's my practicum over? Matthew's going to get an email tomorrow. Hey, Matthew, really appreciate the opportunity to do my practicum at Edmonton Sports Talk. Just wanted to point out, though, I didn't think having to work on the Reid Wilkins show with Jason Milne was going to be part of it. Happy to fill in yesterday, but hope it doesn't have to happen again.
Please accept my resignation.
Practicum students can't resign.
Sure they could.
Really?
Well, you could just quit. Say I'm out.
Good.
And on the NBA site, when you're looking at the standings, you can't even click on the team, for goodness sake.
Oh, yeah, that is odd that you can't click. Yeah, there could be a better way. They have a lot of columns, though.
Be better.
Wins, losses, win percentage, games behind, conference, division, home, away, last 10, and streak. That's not bad. Got another limerick here. Do you know how to do the limerick music, my friend? Nope. Okay. That's okay. From the Big Uke. Time for Jay's favorite time of year. All-star tourney is what we hear. David Lee Roth sure ain't goth. Reid's got the clips. Have no fear.
Well done.
More excellent work from the Big Uke.
Whoa! Whoa!
Like, that's just stunning that he was a lead singer in a band.
And he did this probably 200 nights a year. Right?
Yeah. I don't know how much of that he would do live if they would perform live, but still.
Have you ever heard Vince Neil now?
For Motley
Crue?
His plane crashed, but he wasn't on it.
Yeah, it was his jet. He wasn't on it.
Jet, yeah.
But have you ever cut his singing out from the song? Have you ever heard that?
I'm not sure I would want to.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have fun. I'm going to show you. I'm going to try find that.
So it's his singing live? Or?
Yeah. Brendan, if I send it to you.
I will tell you this.
We'll see what we can do.
When Leopard and Motley Crue came through town about 2.5 years ago playing at Commonwealth, I couldn't tell what Motley Crue song was being played. It was just so loud and he was so all over the place and drowned out. You know, like it was surprising that that's what they did.
Yeah, it's bad. He can't pronunciate his words. There's videos going around where they put up closed captioning for what they think he's saying.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. We'll try to get that.
All right, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. And, of course, if you were in the Nasty Chat, a lot of chat in the Nasty Chat today that we didn't even have to get involved in. You can keep chatting with each other there. And can give us a thumbs up. We have soared past 130. I implore you to get us to 150 because I want 2 words of the day to see how we can do there as well. The off-topic topic for William Huff, what country has the best cuisine? I'm going to have to go with, I think, oh, man. See, my answer could change in half an hour. I'm going to go with Greece, Greek food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just got a bunch of good stuff.
You
got
do eat a lot of Greek
the
food.
keftedes, the spanakopita. The beef is, the chicken and the lamb were nicely prepared. They have tzatziki sauce, which can put almost anything over the top. The roast potatoes are good. I know a lot, like every nationality will have a potato dish. I'm going to go with Greek food.
Gotta love those keftedes.
Jeez, don't,
That's what you said.
Why do you have to make it keftedes?
I love them.
It's keftedes.
I
Sorry, it sounds like
said-
something else, Jay.
I said I like them. Gosh, sensitive.
Hey, David Lee, do you want some keftedes?
Woo! Woo!
One woo for each.
Just snorted twice. Oh,
I'll go with Greek food.
I love Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of stuff I like. Like I like
you like German. You like your schnitzel.
Yeah, I would say as a whole though, I wouldn't go that way. Japanese would be up there because there's other stuff than just sushi. But again, I'm getting Japanese food prepared in Edmonton, Alberta. Do I know true Japanese food? I don't know. But I think would Italian be the winner from just a rough poll that we did for William Huff?
Hey, it's hard to say. Italian was getting a lot of love. Vietnamese was getting a lot of love.
Probably underrated, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of Vietnamese food, but
Would that be pho? Is pho Vietnamese?
I think it's pho, isn't it?
Pho?
How do you say it?
Well, it's spelled P-H-O. You would think it's pho.
But you don't say pho.
But you don't say pho.
It's either pho or
pho.
Pho. Well,
You're young and hip.
There was that place on 118th Ave for a while that it was called, I'm not going to say the word, it was P-H-O King. So that's why I think it's pronounced pho.
Brendan?
My vote's pho.
Pho?
I think so.
Not pho?
We're saying it the same, but slightly different.
Slightly different. Joe spells it out in the nasty chat.
Thanks.
I can't. I don't. Okay.
Do you actually say it, pho? I didn't think you said it how it sounded. Glenn says, going to have to go with Chinese, real Chinese, not your mall fast food type. Well, yeah,
I don't even know if I know what real Chinese is.
Yeah, Bootsky says it's pho. Pho. Oh, and Chief Andy, Indian food. I mean, that's a great vote as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Indian food is great. Now, again, have we tried it to the extent that
we're
we
talking
would like
butter
to?
chicken and naan, which is really good.
Yeah, but that's... But I think Italian would probably be the winner with a lot of mentions for Greek and probably Vietnamese, a sneaky dark horse.
Have you
Maybe
ever
not
had
third, but enough that it's a dark horse.
Have you ever had a good Vietnamese pork bun?
Oh, you know what? There's some good Filipino.
Yeah, or Filipino maybe too.
Yeah.
Like the pork bun.
No,
it's like
the
a
bao. That's what the Filipino ones are called. Anyway,
Man,
sorry.
those are good.
Yeah, man, we're really getting hungry.
Let's go, girls.
By the way, really kind of a heartbreaking story coming up, but we want to tell it. A local youth soccer team, well, quite frankly, they got ripped off. We got the story next.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All three linemen came over from Toronto, Ford coming in from Winnipeg. The Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, and the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the pipes for Canada, and Philip Gustafsson on the other side of the ice. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams in action in the association, including the Raps, who welcome the Cavs, the Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the Diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving the third baseman out, quote, long term. Adam Scorgie will join us after the break. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Okay, good to have you tuning in. 5:23. What is it? Wednesday today. Jay and I on the show again tomorrow. We're gonna have fun with a hockey card segment. Wayne Wagner from Wayne Sports Cards will be here. He's always a great guest. Jay will be off on Friday. My guest for 3 hours, so he's really co-hosting the show. I guess maybe to see if he wants to be a broadcaster someday. Former U of A Golden Bear and current Montreal Alouettes offensive lineman Justin Lawrence will join me. So that'll be fun with him. We have our EST Fun Spiel on Saturday at the Shamrock, presented by Lloyd Sad Insurance Brokers. Monday is a holiday, family day. I will be off on Tuesday. First show I'm going to miss since I was hired. And I'm basically being forced to take days off. I'm not joking. I know you're laughing.
I know.
I'm not joking.
But fear not.
Isn't it nice to be suddenly so highly regarded?
Fear not.
And so it's you and the Coup are going to do the show on Tuesday?
the Coup and I are going to sit here and butt heads for 3 hours.
You and Matthew Awanek?
It'll be entertaining.
That's going to be amazing.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Well, by that time, the final for the Four Nations Faceoff will be determined.
Exactly.
Because the final two round-robin games are Monday, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. They go to Boston. What do you think of this Montreal-Boston split? Would have you liked to see more cities all in one city? Do you care? I know you don't care much about this tournament.
All in one city.
Oh, really? You would have preferred that?
Yep.
Just probably Toronto, eh?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Why not? 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Okay, we have it is an interesting story, though it's not a great story, but I think it's one we want to tell. And a guy who's great at storytelling, though I think he wishes he wasn't telling this one too. I've been talking to this guy for years. He's been on this show before. Edmonton-based filmmaker Adam Scorgie is checking in, but in a different capacity than in his usual role as a movie producer. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. Thanks so much for having me on. And yeah, this is a little different.
We gotta fix some echo here, Adam. I think we're good. I think we're good. Sorry, go again.
We're good. Echo's good now.
It's better. It's better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm multitasking, driving my son to jiu-jitsu, so trying to get. But yeah, this isn't my typical movie premiere that we're just promoting and that you've had the chance to see on this one, unfortunately.
Well, instead of me putting in with the questions, I'll let you kind of give the Cole's notes of this, because it's quite crazy and really quite sad what's happened here.
Yeah, so my youngest son, Beckham, was named after David Beckham. My wife wanted to all three of our kids. Only finally got one with our youngest. They've been fundraising for his U11 Tier 1 selects team for 2.5 years to go to this prestigious Mayor's Cup in Vegas. And we were all set to fly out this Friday. We'd been working with this coach. He'd been Beckham's coach for 3.5, 4 years. And then on Monday, we're like, man, where's the tickets? Where's our itinerary? We thought maybe he's not super organized. My wife's the manager and the assistant coach. And she was like, I better look into this stuff. And then she called the tournament and they're like, sorry, we have an incomplete registration, but no payment. She called the airline. Of course, none of us were booked. And she called the hotel and none of us were reserved. That was supposed to be paid in November. So unfortunately, these kids, my son Beckham's only 9, 1/3 of his life he's been working for this event, and it was taken away that there is no Vegas. The coach is unable to be found or getting back to anyone, and the account is missing, close to $40,000 that was supposed to send these kids to Vegas for their first international tournament.
And so they've been fundraising for 2 to 3 years. And are we talking about the typical things kids do to raise money, bottle drives, stuff like that?
Yeah, you name it. Hundreds of bottle drives and minus 20 Edmonton weather, selling world's finest chocolates, thousands of boxes there. We did 2 pub nights, which my wife did 90% of the heavy lifting, bringing in items, selling, raising $5,000 to $6,000 an evening there, all to find that unfortunately that had all been removed from the account and wasn't used to what they said it was used on.
So I guess one of my questions would be, and this is the great thing about interviewing a documentary filmmaker, I know you won't be offended by my questions, plus you'll probably anticipate them. Was there any indication before this week that maybe something with this coach wasn't on the up and up?
That's probably, Reid, the most sinister part of this is, like I said, he'd been my son's coach for almost 4 seasons, 3 years. We never saw him really intoxicated or under the influence of drugs or alcohol at tournaments. We had one thing where there was $6,500 from chocolates that he took a while to put back into the account. Kept saying he was busy and missed, but it did go back into the account. So we never really had any of those clear red flags. Going back now and even seeing the statements that were sent of what he was supposedly spending on, you can see you're like, oh my God, that's not a real credit card statement. That one's been drafted. You catch it now that we know that he's gone AWOL, but before, he just coached the kids on Sunday and coached their final game on Wednesday, and they finished second in the league. So it was I don't know what he was planning. We think maybe he has a chronic gambling problem, and that's where he spent the money and maybe he thought he could get it back later if he had more time. Don't know. He didn't just come, and he's been with Mill Woods for years, years before us too, and he criminal record check and all the proper balances through the organization. So no, not really the red flags you'd suspect.
Adam, where is this at now? Obviously you've got a group of devastated, 10-year-olds that are missing out on an opportunity of a lifetime. But that aside, is this something now that authorities have been involved with?
Yes, 100%. We called the police Monday night, but as dealing with white-collar crime, I'm doing docs on that right now. So you can't call the emergency line, right? You call the other line, and then we were put to the middle, to the bottom of the list on priority. And then Tuesday night, when we had our final team practice and team meeting, the police officers showed up there. EPS has been great, but that's why we can't say the coach's name right now or put his face on anything, because until he's formally charged, you could actually get charged with defamation or slander.
Yeah.
So at this point, all we're saying is that he's missing, and that he's missing with the money. We're not saying he's stolen it. We're just saying that he's misappropriated it. What we is definitive based on the evidence and thing is he said he booked the Excalibur Hotel in a bundle. That we called the resort and the hotel. That was never done. It was supposed to be paid in November. He said he registered the tournament and collected money for all these things, and we called the tournament president. Never received anything. There was an incomplete registration. And then he also said he booked all the flights, and he showed us the flight path and everything, and we called Flair, and that was never, there's no money given to them either. So that is where we had those amounts, and that's how he was able to. My wife is the team manager, and she was all second person. Is he would send a quote, and he would send it all there, and then we'd be like, okay, yep, you can do the e-transfer. We'll transfer it over, and you can pay it on your credit card. And then he made fake statements saying he purchased all these things, but he also took everybody's passports for the booking. So he also has all of our information.
Oh, wow.
We haven't heard from him since Monday, since we figured this out and realized that none of these things have been purchased and all the money had been used or misappropriated.
So that's the scary thing. This could have been a long con, so to speak, to use it like this.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
It's super creepy, right? Like, he just was at their final season of the game, and like it just is. It's weird. And what's his end game? Like, yes, this is a devastating amount to 9 and 10-year-olds, $35,000-$40,000, but to go ruin your life, get a criminal record, and steal from children, like, I don't know. Like, if I'm going to go for it, I'm trying to get $3 to $5 million, and I'm going after politicians' money, and I'm going to a country that doesn't extradite. That's my plan, not a children's soccer team for $40,000. So I don't know. Honestly, the families and the kids have been so amazing. Honestly, several of the families were actually legitimately concerned that maybe he hurt himself or he's overdosed or something, because, again, it's a devastating amount to the kids, but it's not a life-changing amount to try to work on this for 3 years. But everybody's been trying to call them, police, Edmonton Soccer, City Soccer, us trying to get a hold of them. No one's been able to get a hold of them.
So now you mentioned the fundraising.
Yep.
But, and maybe you don't want to get into this, but I got to ask it. You mentioned the fundraising and the kids doing bottle drives, chocolate, all that kind of stuff. But was there any, like, you and other parents that put money in, or maybe you went to a business and they actually said, hey, you know what? I'm a millionaire. I'm going to give $5,000. And now maybe that, you know what I mean? Like, were there any larger amounts that people are out this money now?
Yeah, you nailed it, Reid. Is that we luckily didn't have any business that did that we'd have to be out to, but the parents, yeah, I mean, many of them, a lot of them is their first time to Vegas, or even these kids had to get passports as their first time leaving the country. People book 3 or 4 extra nights to see the city and to do other things. So that's why in the GoFundMe that we have, we're trying to raise above the amount that was missing, because, a lot of families are out money. We'd, taken time off work, booked rental cars, booked extra additional stays, all these things that are now, we're realizing, like, we don't have any tickets to get there, and there is no tournament to sign up. So even if we could hit the money, say by tonight or something, the president of the tournament is great, but he's like, guys, we have 500 games over the next 4 days. Like, we can't fit you in. But he was awesome. The president's like, he just felt so bad, and he was like, listen, I will waive the registration fee for your boys to come next year, which is a $1,500 US, in kind. And the part that's got me emotional several times today, and this is the great part, and I truly mean this about Edmonton, unlike other big cities, is the media and community and support it's been emotional. Like, even teams we thought were bitter rivals where the parents didn't talk, they've donated money, NSU and Sting and other teams. They're like, we don't want to see this happen to any soccer team. And the media picked up on this immediately. People like yourself and stuff I've worked with, that's kind of how I positioned it with my son Beckham and the rest of the kids. As I said, listen, kids, just like a pro athlete, there are going to be obstacles and setbacks in your career. And unfortunately, you guys learned that there's some bad people in the world a little earlier than we would have liked to have shown you. But instead of dwelling on the negative and blaming and pointing fingers, we can focus on the positive and try to drive this to a fundraiser and get you guys next year another tournament. And it's been amazing to see. I think our GoFundMe already, we just launched it at 8 a.m., has over $16,000, and the community is embracing this in a way that is, you know, it's special. It's really what Edmonton has is special that way.
Well, Adam, I can tell you that it's already over 18,000 of your goal.
Shoot! Well,
so that's already changed a bit. So I'm going to make sure we share that in our chat here. We'll get a link of it in the description for the show as well. So that for those that feel inclined to help this team, stolen funds, stolen dreams. I'm gutted. This story is just alarming. It's too bad, but we're gonna do our best to spread the word about it anyhow.
Thank you so much, guys. That really means the world. And Reid, you've been amazing from day one with my career, my friend. You always support the work I do and my team. And again, that's something special. When people ask, like, why, Adam, you're producing some of the biggest documentaries around. Why are you doing it out of Edmonton, Alberta? I'm like, well, it's not the weather. I'll be honest there, but it is the people there are special. I think sometimes like hardened weather like this brings communities together because, you know, there's lots of down days and stuff like that. I experienced that in Rankin Inlet with Tutu and Nunavut too, is that there's hard times bring out the best in people at times. And it is, I'm fighting back the tears now, guys, just to see. Reid, thank you for everything. And thanks for having me on and supporting the boys. It means the world.
Yeah, well, Adam, I know this is tough to talk about, but thanks for getting it out there. I mean, this is awful what has happened. And like there is this crazy like mystery element to it too. Like I'm curious to see the resolution and what happens and what's going on with this individual. But I appreciate you taking time to tell the story. Yeah, like Jay said, we'll put use the Edmonton Sports Talk stuff to link the GoFundMe so we can get these kids somewhere to this tournament or somewhere else special in the future. Thank you so much for hopping on, Adam.
No, thank you so much, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great night.
Adam Scorgie checking in. So, yeah, this a team of, 9 and 10-year-olds fundraising. The Mayor's Cup in Las Vegas is where they were supposedly going. Now, as he said, they can't say the person's name. They can't outright come out and accuse him of anything except to say they don't know where he is and they don't know where the money is. And we do have to be careful in the media. Like I know sometimes people say, why do news people always say allegedly when someone is charged? Because they're charged. Yeah. Charged is not guilty. So, you can't convict somebody in a news story or before it goes to court, and you can't potentially sway a jury or report things that could sway a jury if it comes to that. But yes, this certainly it is. Well, it is suspicious. I think we can say that.
Absolutely.
And as he said, it's not as if these things were booked. Like he didn't, like they checked the hotel. It's like the plans weren't made for the team to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just really got to keep a keen eye on things like this, to not let them spiral out of control with something that could have. I bet you if you asked Adam if he could do things over again, what would he have changed? There would be several things, right? But you just don't assume.
But you trust. You trust.
You
okay,
do.
This part of this person's life is to coach and organize. I'm the parent, and then I have other things I'm doing on top of that. I appreciate Adam sharing that. Like I said, I know that's kind of a downer of a story in the grand scheme of how we usually do things on the show, but I think it's an important story, and it's definitely something we want to keep an eye on as well. Okay, we're heading into the final segment. We got fired up. We got our word of the day. We have our words of the day if we get 2 more thumbs up on YouTube. So if you haven't done it, click or encourage others to do so. Here comes Brendan Eric.
The Elks held a press conference this morning to announce the signings of defensive back Tyrell Ford, and defensive lineman Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, and Robbie Smith. All 3 D linemen came over from Toronto. Ford on his way from Winnipeg. Four Nations Faceoff starts when Connor McDavid and Team Canada battle Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson, the rest of Team Sweden. Jordan Bennington gets the crease for Canada, and Philip Gustafsson for Sweden. Puck drop goes at 6 this evening. All 30 teams in action on the hard court tonight, including the Raptors welcoming the Cavs. The Wolves host the Bucks, and Memphis travels to LA to tip off against the Clippers. Over on the diamond, Anthony Rendon's injury woes continue as he will undergo hip surgery, leaving him out, quote, long term. The fellas will finish off with Fired Up after the break. My name is Brendan Eric, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
There's going to be a press release between now and the start of training camp, which will feature a wide receiver that will likely start for the Edmonton Elks this season. All sent through training camp, he's going to be great, or he'll be on the practice roster and there'll be an injury and this guy will get elevated. And they're starting, well, where did this guy come from? It's like Dalton Schoen. Where did Dalton Schoen come from? Winnipeg a couple years ago as this guy that's lighting up this league.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Love is in the air.
I love you. And you? And you? And you!
Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Robotron 4000 with the music bringing us back from break. In all seriousness, thanks to Adam Scorgie for telling the story about his kids' soccer team and some missing money. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if there's some sort of a resolution. I was going to say positive resolution. I don't know if there will be, but we'll put the links out to the GoFundMe for that. If you're on YouTube, continue to give us a thumbs up. We are over 150 thumbs, so we're going to have 2 words of the day before we sign off at 5:55. As Matthew Wannock told us yesterday, we're within, about 35, 40 minutes of the Four Nations Faceoff finally starting.
Have you come at long last?
What do we have?
Barry the Cheater came in today.
Yes.
Brought us some donuts.
And root beer.
And root beer
in the
for
fridge.
Reid.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Barry the Cheater. Reid challenged him. He said, you ought to ride a limerick. I said, I don't, not really. But okay. He sent in a limerick. Today, Reid asked me to write a limerick. Little did he know that wasn't my shtick. I tried my best. To this I attest. Too bad this became generic. I know what you're going to say.
That I thought he was going to talk about me and have a different word rhyming with limerick.
You missed the opportunity.
Yeah, geez, Barry.
No, that was good, Barry.
That was
well
good.
Done.
That was really good.
We applaud you.
I think that was a great limerick. Hey, David Lee, what do you think of that limerick?
Woo! Woo!
Oh my goodness. This is a joy to work on this show. That's why I don't want to take days off.
I know. You feel like you're missing out. FOMO.
I know.
Well, I'm not missing out on getting fired up.
And then Awanak's going to replace me? My goodness. Get ready for a dour 3 hours of broadcasting, everybody. Jay will be like, hey, Matt, how you doing? Well, no, I'm okay, I guess. I mean, it could be better. Oh, yeah, it's what do you think of the hockey game yesterday? I don't know. There was that one play that went offside, kind of ruined it for me. Okay, Matt. It's time to get fired up for Jebco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's, I should read this like Bob and Doug McKenzie, whether it's gas or wood burning, eh? Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. Hoser, all the Napoleon Fireplaces you need available at Jemco, eh? Where are they? Oh, about 9281 50th Street, eh? You got a cold one?
Well done. I think you should read it like that.
You got a cold one while I'm in front of the hot Jemco fireplace, eh? You're a hoser. All right, what are you fired up
I like
about,
that.
Hosehead?
Well, as you know, I love working here, Reid. I love the nasties, but there's some things I love more than that. And that is my family, my wife, my children. And we have basketball games pretty much every night of the week. Last night was no different. We had a basketball game out in Sherwood Park as the Ardrossan Bisons took on the Sherwood Heights Cougars.
Okay.
And just so happens, one of my longtime best friends, Josh, who you've met.
Really?
Sickler.
Oh, yeah.
Has his daughter's playing on the team that's playing my daughter. So it's kind of neat, right? Here we are, however many years later, blah, blah, blah. So he's texting me. The game started at 5:15 yesterday. He's texting me saying, brother, you should be very happy that you're not here. I said, what's going on? I'm texting him during the break. He says, the reffing is atrocious. Kids are going to get hurt. And I'm thinking, oh boy, that's not good.
I just want to jump in and say that's an important distinction for me because reffing, how old are the kids again?
It's grade, 7, 8, 9. So
you should not
high.
Expect consistent good
Absolutely
reffing at
not.
that level. But you should expect refs to at least keep the game safe.
Player safety is paramount. That would be, and it's basketball.
Like you shouldn't cross-check somebody in the head.
That's right. And so, anyways, it was a tight game. I got there. I boogied out of here. I said to you guys before I left, before the show was over, sorry, I got to run right after the show. Don't be offended. I just got to get to the game. Got there. There was 4 minutes left, and Ardrossan at that point started, taking over.
Right.
I'm sitting beside my buddy Josh and his wife, and you could see right away this game was out of control. Do you know what the score was at halftime?
How old are they again?
They're in grade 8 or 9.
13-11.
It was 12-10.
Well, it was close.
This score should be 24-26.
Okay.
Realistically. It was just a bloodbath under the hoop. It was terrible. And I got there, I saw two girls blatantly pushed, different times, pushed into the end wall. I saw a girl trip a girl out of bounds. And this is a tight gym, so everything's magnified. So obviously this was getting under the skin. And yes, I probably was best for me not to be there that whole time because that would have been annoying. So my buddy's sitting right beside me, and so a literal two-hand push. One of the our girls did that too, because that's just how things escalate.
Okay,
if you're gonna let them push me in the back, well, guess what? I'm doing it back. So it escalates, and that's where you need some control over the game. Happens right in front of us, and the ref's standing right beside us.
Like, now, how old are the refs again?
The one fella that my buddy talked to was probably in his mid-50s.
Talked to? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did talk to him. He said, "Sir, you need to protect the players. Somebody's going to get hurt." And he came over and just kind of big dog, And this is what I've talked about. I know I say I don't like. I get refs. Reffing's a hard job. I understand that. But the bravado and the energy that this ref came to my friend with for honestly saying something that should have been said a long time ago. He said, "Sir, you have to follow the protocol as a, what do you call it?
A spectator.
Spectator policy. What am I doing that's wrong? I'm asking you to protect the players from getting injured.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Turns around, players to their benches. He clears the floor, goes, stops the game. There's like 2 minutes left. Goes, stops the game, talks to the one coach of his daughter's team. Is that a player? And the coach is like, look, I'm just a dad. Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Right.
So they had to have an administrator come in.
Oh, jeez.
And say, yes, this is the biggest, baddest person in the gym. And they kicked him out of the gym.
Really?
Yeah.
Your buddy got kicked out of the gym.
It was beautiful. I started clapping for him. I'm like, you did it. You did it.
Now, do you refrain from yelling at the refs, though?
I have to really bite my tongue. I usually opt to score keep.
Okay.
Because
so then you can't.
Then it muzzles me.
Right.
Like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
You have to be somewhat, But I'm not going to lie and say I've never said something to a ref. That would be, I think a lot of parents have done that. Do I get over the top? No, I've learned to be better for sure. But what happened here with him was just trying to have a simple conversation.
Right.
Say his daughter was the one that got pushed in there. Okay. You as a parent seeing your daughter get two-hand pushed into a wooden wall and fall to the ground does not exactly sit well in the confines of a basketball
So what's
court.
going to happen, though? Are you going to complain about this guy?
I mean, okay, so say I do. You know what? Then the first thing that I should ask myself, well, why aren't you reffing? Then maybe I should ref. Well, I can't. I have enough going on in my life.
Right, but if he was doing that negligent a job that players thought it was okay to take, and it was both teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just being one-sided towards you're not just being one-sided. Then maybe was this game videoed? Maybe someone higher up within
Well, it's not.
the Sherwood
It's not
Park
being
Basketball
videoed.
Association or
and
whatever.
the telltale sign was this for me, Reid. The referee in question, during a timeout with about 4 minutes left in the game, went to the side door and reached his keys around and started the car.
Oh, jeez.
He really wanted to be there. Anyways, I'm fired up for my buddy Sickler for getting kicked out. He took it like a champ. He didn't say anything. He just walked out of the gym. Totally unnecessary. But that's that.
Well, I thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
And sometimes I'm often grateful I'm not a parent, and that's another story that makes me feel that way.
He's in the River Cree inbox. Is Sickler? He says, "Bingo, Reid. I ref roughly 1,000 baseball games in my late teens and early 20s. Be terrible. I don't care. But the number one job of a ref is to keep players safe. Any sport, one job for the ref. But keep them safe.
Right.
Be terrible. That's okay. You're not gonna make a call. You make whatever. But safety was really in question.
Right. It is interesting that this referee was an adult.
Very much so.
Like it might, to me, not that it's a great situation, but it might be more understandable. It's a 13-year-old reffing, and he's just loses control and is flustered. And I missed that foul. Okay, I can't call that now because I didn't call the other push. Like this was you would think a veteran adult referee who should be able to put a cap on it earlier. That's
you got to control the game. You need to understand that you control the temperature of the game.
Right.
And if it's tit for tat and you're not calling it, well, guess what? They're gonna take advantage of that. So I don't know. I don't like to spout off on officials that much, but this
is an odd situation.
This is a very
watching. I think
a very odd situation.
All right.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they gotta say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
I think we only have time for one.
Okay, we'll make up the other one
And you
tomorrow.
emailed Justin the other one for Friday.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
The word of the day: hagiography.
Oh God.
Hagiography. Hagiography.
Well, I'll just try to do it the way it sounds to me. Hagiography.
Yeah. What it means, it's a noun.
Hagiography is a chart showing the hierarchy within a church, within some sort of religious organization.
Oh, wow. No.
Total guess.
Haggy, what is that from like Barbie or something?
It's Robin. Call your girlfriend.
Of course. How could I forget? Hagiography is biography that idealizes or idolizes a person and their life. The book gives a good idea of his virtues without resorting to hagiography.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So keep the second word, and I got Justin's email, and we got to send him some stuff tomorrow. Anyway. Okay, Drew Dowdy in the Nasty Chat. See you after the win, folks. That's awesome that he could post. Hey, you know what I think of your work today, filling in, Brendan?
What's that?
Good. Thanks for stepping in for the Coupe. Brendan Eric, the sports update deliverer, and doing the technical work today. He's the glue guy. I'm Reid. Enjoy the Four Nations Face-Off. Talk to you tomorrow.